knocked away. And Nedeljkovic out of the goal at the goal line, or the blue line, lost it. Empty net for Riley Smith, and he scores! What a weird finish.
Handling it at the point, across for Schaefer. Back to the slot, Drouin shoots and scores!
Most impressive.
Places with Schaefer, Matthew Schaefer. Back door, Duclair all alone, he made the pass. Palmieri's shot was stopped by Thompson. Still losing, they score! It's Schaefer! The first pick has his first goal!
He was young, vigorous. He was very vigorous, Father.
Vigorous.
Yes.
Came in here and played a perfect hockey game. I think
Box settles, feeds Panarin, one-timer blocked. Panarin, one more chance, sent out of the zone by the Capitals, and that will do it.
Miles from their home at Rogers Place. The final seconds ticked off, and Stuart Skinner with his 8th career shutout.
You tried your best, and you failed miserably. The lesson is, never try.
Yeah, well, good news, everybody. If you're listening to this or watching this, you're tied for the Rangers' home lead in scoring. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Big Apple Hockey. It's great to be talking about the entire NHL, not just the New York teams with you. I, of course, am your host, Mark Williams, who, like I said just a minute ago, I have as many points at the Garden as any New York Ranger. And I'm joined by the man from the Final Buzzer who's did 2 shows this week, Mr. John Filkowski.
Yeah, I was there for that last night. That was interesting, to say the least. It's not like they're playing terrible. It's just it got to a point where they were just missing chances, and I was just laughing because I couldn't control my laughter because it's just comical how this team can't finish.
Well, do you know they're the greatest team never to score a goal in a game in the first 3 games? And we're joined by the man from the Hockey News, Mr. Anthony LaRocco.
Yes, good to be back. I feel like this is our first show together in like 3 weeks. I missed the last 2 being away, so I'm glad to be back talking some hockey.
Well, Anthony, how was Europe?
Amazing. I loved every second of it. Didn't want to leave Italy when it came time to come home, but yeah, it was outstanding. Very happy and fortunate I got to go there. It meant a lot to me. So yeah, but it was incredible.
Yeah, I'm hoping me and Maria could take a trip there at some point. It's in the future. It's not right now. But I mean, hell, Alaska was amazing, and I gotta empathize with how you were feeling. I was like, oh goodness, gotta go back home. Fortunately, Seattle made me hungry for New York. Anyway, so let's get to the A block and let's talk about a lot of things that happened, including a video review of Matthew Schaefer's goal, which might still be going on right now. But everybody, the A block is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use the promo code Big Apple Hockey for $20 off your first order. And of course, Big Apple Hockey trucker hats and shirts are available. You click the link below. I was really looking forward to trying to not make the Rangers the A block, but then they had to go get shut out for the 3rd time in 3 games to open a season, becoming the first team in NHL history to not score a goal on their home ice in 3 consecutive seasons. And keep in mind, the New York Rangers were one of the worst franchises in World War II, and they were decimated. And yet still, they were able to score a goal on home ice. If it's not being drilled home, let's drill it home a little bit further. The home and away splits, the Rangers had 9 goals and none at home. And of course, JT Miller saying, let's not blow this out of proportion. It's only game 5. And Mike Sullivan saying, I thought from an effort and determination and attitude that's the type of team we're trying to build. Well, that team still hasn't scored a goal on home ice. This will be said a lot. Shesterkin 2-2, and you got to feel for the guy. He let in 2 goals on home ice. He's lost both games. So, Phil, what are your thoughts on this New York Rangers week? Am I just focusing on those 3 shutouts, or should I be focusing on the win against the Sabres and the win against the Penguins?
Again, like, they're not playing bad. What are you?
What do you just put down?
But
I'll get into that in a second because I'm going to go on a rant in a little bit. But Connor Sheary, 18 minutes.
yeah, all right, yeah. I'll start with this. What is that? Like, he's just not. That Nepo contract needs to end, like, right now. Like, I'd rather see Brett Berard up than Connor Sheary. I've seen enough. Connor Sheary doesn't give you anything that Brett Berard can't give you at this point. Sheary can't skate anymore. He's just not a good player at this point. So let's move on and end that experiment. The other thing is they're not playing bad overall. They're really not. They are slow, like Van Walen has been saying in the chat. Like, I think I've seen him make like 3 posts about how slow they are. So, still, point is spot on. But they're not playing bad. They're not giving up a ton of high danger chances. According to Natural Stat Trick last night, they outchanced the Oilers 15-3, I believe it was, in high danger chances. So they're generating chances. They just can't finish. And I don't know why this team can't finish at home. The one thing that I see from their body language, especially being as close as I was to the ice, is that you could see the look of frustration in their faces and like the look of despair and just like almost apathy at this point because they just can't put the puck in the net. Like, they're gripping the stick too tight. They're fumbling on their shots. They're not releasing shots. They're not taking one-timer chances. Like, Panarin had 3 or 4 chances to take a one-timer. And what did he do? He waited to get the puck and then fired a wrist shot when Stuart Skinner was already over. He looks bad. I know this, like, his preseason and training camp were compromised because of whatever injury he was dealing with, but the effort level just isn't there. And it's just not. And he's doing a lot of the same things he did a couple of years back before his big 23-24 season, where he would pull up to the blue line and then stop and try to make a play. And he'd do those dumb drop passes to nobody. And he would go nowhere. Like, if anything, he plays on like a circular rink right now because there's not a corner that he'll go into. There's like no corners on the rink, according to him. So something's not right. If he's checked out, then they need to start working on a trade to get him out of here. Because if he's that unhappy at the point where they don't want to give him, they want him to take a hometown discount, then go. I mean, again, what I said about culture when they brought in JT Miller, it's got to change. And I think he's a big part of the problem with their culture. I really do. I just, if that's the case, then he needs to go. But Zibanejad at least looks like he's trying. Like, he looks like he cares. He's not getting the job done, but he looks like he cares at least. And JT Miller is clearly a step slow, again, from his injury, but he's trying. He's skating. He's trying to make things happen. You can see him, like, trying to pull Sidney Crosby, like, Edgeworth type stuff, trying to spin defenders off of him. He's trying to get goals, but it isn't working. And one of the biggest things I see is, again, the inability for this team to move the puck out of their own zone successfully and break out through the neutral zone as a unit is really hurting them. They keep relying on these stretch passes to stationary players at the blue line, and it's not working because your zone exits are stifled that way because you don't have anybody in motion going at the line and attacking the line. So the defense can step up all day and make plays and knock the puck back or take the puck to you. Yeah, and this too. I don't know why they drive to the net, but nobody's driving to the net. I think Miller's the only one I've seen like even attempt it. Actually, Sam Carrick had a really good play to drive to the net last night. He just couldn't get the puck up high enough. Otherwise, that would have been a goal because Stuart Skinner was down. But yeah, Firestorm. Yes, I've said this for years on here and other forms of social media, even before we had this. The stretch passes were not good. But it's 4 coaches now: Quinn, Gallant, Laviolette, Sullivan, and they still continue to do it for whatever reason. Yes, that too. Cooley is underperformed. Yes, Edstrom could have 10 goals this year if he could, not 10. I would say like 4 or 5 right now. I mean, obviously exaggeration, Nicole, but that's fine. But it's just, yeah. And Vakanainen, like the Trent Frederick goal was inexcusable. How do you let a guy with cement feet like that just blow past you and score?
Well, it's simple. He's not an NHL defenseman, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this. I think once Miller really gets going, like he gets like back to full speed, I think that'll help him. Alexis Lafreniere, it's not enough from him. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to be able to do to change things up, but it's got to happen. Something's got to give. So I don't know what we're doing here, but they're not playing as bad as I thought they were going to play, but the offense is a major, major concern. And no, we can't say the defense has been the problem, but Vakanainen is not an NHL level defenseman. Braden Schneider has not performed very well. That pairing's got to be one of the worst pairings in the NHL right now. And if this could happen and they could just strip it down to the studs, then I think they would be better off. But that's not gonna.
No, you can't because they're up for the cup. Don't you know? They're Stanley Cup contender right now. It's ridiculous. Because God help you if you ever tried to rebuild anything. But Anthony, you know what? Maybe I'm just overreacting because as you've reminded me, it's only 5 games, Mark. It's only 5 games.
Yeah, it's true. It's only 5 games. They always, I mean, for the longest time, usually everyone uses Thanksgiving in the US as the benchmark of, okay, what you are at that point is what you are, and that's what you're going to be. So 5 games is way too early. I do agree with Phil. I don't necessarily think they're playing bad. However, you have to call a spade. Getting, shut out in 3 of your 5 games this season certainly isn't good. I mean, there's no sugarcoat. There's no sugarcoating that. It's not good. The offense is a concern. I got to give it to Shesterkin. He's playing phenomenal so far this season. But with him, usually at some point comes his lull where he looks like a sieve in net. So, but right now he's playing really, really well. So one of the bright spots, Artemi Panarin, as most said in the comments, I mean, he looks disinterested. I don't know if that's due to his contract negotiations or whatnot, but he certainly needs to be better. But again, to circle back to it, it's 5 games. They had 2 convincing wins, which is good. But, one was a Buffalo Sabres team, which they're already dejected in that room. I mean, Tage Thompson and Dahlin looked just fed up after game 3. So, beating them really isn't a big feat. And then, they thrashed the Penguins, which, again, that team is projected to be a bottom dweller, even though I thought they've actually looked better than I thought they would so far this season. Mm-hmm. But still, that's another team that's not very good. So, you got shut out 3 times and you beat 2 bad teams. But, again, it's 5 games. It's hard to judge what they are right now. But the one thing that's evident is that they're having trouble scoring goals, and they need to figure out, a way to start popping some goals in because, it's only Igor can only carry him for so long before eventually maybe his play dips and then you're in some trouble. So, the offense needs to get started. And is their next game against Winnipeg?
No, Toronto, I believe.
Toronto? Yeah, Toronto. Yeah.
Okay. I assumed because Winnipeg's in the area, they played the Islanders. I thought maybe they got the Rangers coming up, but we'll see how they, how the Rangers look when they play, some other really good teams in the conference. But for now, 2-3, I guess as a Ranger fan, you're not happy, but you're also not 0-5, so things could certainly be worse.
Well, things are going to get worse because they got a Toronto Maple Leafs team, which is their makeover project as well. They're 2-2 right now in the Mitch Marnerless era. So then after that, you got Montreal, who we all know is the Stanley Cup champion of this year, according to anybody who you ask north of the border. Then you get Minnesota and then San Jose, and then they go to Western Canada, and all bets are off after that. Look, right now with this team, they were better at it last night than they were in the Capitals game, especially. But their play, driving to the net and even getting to the slot, is absolutely poor. It is not very good. I have no idea how on the shot charts for Hockey Reference am I seeing 16 shots in the house. That's not possible. I watched that game, and I don't think that is at all possible that they got shots from the inner slot area and lower. No. Zibanejad had a couple of shots, didn't go in. So, and the one thing you know about Mika Zibanejad is when the shots don't go in, he's mentally strong. He's definitely going to keep firing that puck and try and do better, because Mika Zibanejad is one of the toughest mentally players ever. I don't know if my sarcasm is coming through, but I'm going to make sure that that's through right there. Alexei Lafreniere, he had one goal going where his only goal of the year is because he actually, from behind the goal line, drove in front and was able to knock it in. What is he doing? This team, you want to have a different mentality. You're the same as the old one. We could change around coaches. We could have Scotty Bowman with the assistants being Al Arbor and Joel Quenneville, and you're still going to have the same results. You got Toe Blake in there. It's time. We've been saying this for a while. It's time to get rid of some of the dead weight in some of these players. Look, 3 goals, 3 shutouts on home ice to start a season is inexcusable, especially for a team that wants to say that its Stanley Cup window is still open. No. And here's another thing. Never mind that. What the hell did the middle six do? These were the following the good lines last night. Line 4, some of line 1. I don't even remember. Connor Sheary having 18 minutes of ice time. I thought he played okay. I don't remember him being on the ice for 18 minutes. But I mean, this is a team. This is a team that right now, I understand that they're in a crisis. They're trying to reshape the team. They got a new coach. They're trying to adapt to him, but they don't have the personnel. They don't have the personnel. And right now, the guy that should be on the hot seat more than anything is Chris Drury.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would not let him make any more decisions.
Yeah.
Not a single one. And I've been one of the Chris Drury apologists. I've been yelled at about it, but I've been critical of Chris Drury. Now it's the point of this team is not going to go anywhere unless he can make the right decisions. And I have zero confidence that he can make the right decisions.
Didn't Dolan give him an extension?
He's not getting fired. It's just he. Yeah, I really question the roster construction.
Yeah,
to me the biggest thing is the direction. Like, there's no direction with this team. We don't know. Like, they're not good enough to be a cup contender and to go for it. And they're running on a very limited window of about 2 or 3 years that they can really get Igor's best play out of. And that's provided he continues to play at this type of level that he's playing at right now, which, as we've seen since 21-22, has been very up and down. Not only that, but you signed him to that deal, so you're locked into not rebuilding, and you're not going to rebuild because the owner won't let you rebuild. I mean, you saw what happened the last time they wanted to rebuild, and the owner got sick and tired of it in less than 36 months. So it just, honestly, Drury's not done a good job. He's not. The Gavrikov contract is great. There have been some other moves here or there that have been good, but overall, his body of work has not been good as Rangers general manager. It just hasn't, and it's time that they start looking at not only him, but why is it that this team cannot make breakout passes for so long? They can't break the pocket. So how are guys like Mark Ciaccio, their skills development coach, or no, he's gone now. I'm sorry. I think it was Christian Mora is the new one. But how did Ciaccio last as long as he did? How do Ortmeyer and Glass last as long as they do as skills and development coaches? And again, I'm not saying they're bad just because they were not good NHLers. Because Gretzky wasn't a good coach, so it doesn't matter. But we have a long enough sample size or a big enough sample size to see that they're not good at what they do. There needs to be changes. I don't know why those guys have been literally Teflon and they've been safe from all these coaching changes and everything. And yet there's just no change with them. How do you not been, he got demoted by promotion. Yeah, he was not a good skills coach either. I'm sorry. I don't understand how they can have these guys as skills coaches and developmental coaches, and you see what they're doing on the ice, and they can't make simple breakouts. I don't understand it.
And that's not even getting into the power play, which is stagnant. There's a lot of that.
You think? All right. So here's a question to this. I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think guys like Artemi Panarin are fit to play this system? Because I don't. I don't think he's fit to play the system at all. I don't think Alexis Lafreniere is fit to play this system.
Nope.
I think he may not even be fit for New York.
No. And you know what? And I know Anthony's laughing a little bit because we were on the Alexis Lafreniere wagon last year a little bit, and I've kept on saying he's not being developed right. Well, he hasn't been developed right, but yeah, I think it's time to seriously consider moving on from Lafreniere, because this team, if again,
I don't want nature. It want nothing to do with nature.
No.
Mark doesn't like nature at all.
And let me be very clear when I say this. I understand that they lead the NHL in hits right now with 123. I understand that they're trying to be more physical, but again, you could say that they're adapting, which, in fairness, they had to adapt to Alain Vigneault, and they had one of the worst Octobers you've ever seen from this franchise, and yet they were going to go to the Stanley, and then they went to the Stanley Cup Finals that year. So, in fairness, let me throw that olive branch out of you. This is alarming. This is very alarming because take away the Pittsburgh game and the third period versus the Sabres. You got one goal. That's it. So am I plucking a game out of there? Yeah. And at a period, so 4 periods of hockey? Yeah. But you know what? That should be very scary. And name a play made by the second or the third line last night. Name one. You could go on the condensed game right now. You could see plenty of chances for Carrick and Enstrom and even Matt Rampy. But I can't even, other than Lafreniere taking a little bit of a quick shot from outside the faceoff dot, what he got for the second unit?
Michael Hagan and no.
But it's right now. Look, am I being very pessimistic about this team? Yeah, because they already did this last year. And are you going to sit back and you're going to say, well, they're playing better. Good, they're playing better. Well, they're losing. It's going to be, take a look at the rest of the month of this for the New York Rangers. This could be a very ugly month of October. And then November doesn't look that good. So they might be out of it by November and by Thanksgiving. And then it's like, what'd you bring in Mike Sullivan for? What did you bring in? What did you re-sign Igor Shesterkin for? This is the reason why analysts and fans should be frustrated. That's not only scary, but it's something you can't rely on. They're not. I like that line, but no. And you're playing Connor Sheary when you could be playing a Gabe Perreault or a Brett Berard or anybody
Berard
else
should be in this lineup.
Well, I'd rather see them in the lineup than you run down to Connor Sheary.
No.
No.
I mean, I hope that's a joke. I mean, I know Laugh has been underwhelming, but Michael Matheson, who's a pending UFA. I mean, if Chris Drury did that, he would be hung off the side of the Verrazano or whatever. It's so yeah, I'm sure that's in jest, but basically, again, it's 5 games, but I understand where the angst comes from because I think anybody can see clear as day. Yeah. And you honestly, to make the comparison, it was the same thing for the Islanders. Their group got close 2 years in a row, right? They were one goal away from going to the Stanley Cup final. You know, after a while, and even before that, they made it to the second round. Like your group, when they fail to get the job done year after year after year, it goes stale, and you have to make some changes. And yes, they moved Trouba, they moved Kreider, but it's really your two best it's your two best offensive players, Zibanejad, Panarin, and even though Laugh's younger, he's in there too. You bring all 3 of those guys back year after year after year when you're not getting over the hump. And the issue that goes beyond it is what's the common denominator between those 3 guys? Is Panarin lackadaisical? He's rubbed off on Laugh. Laugh looks like he doesn't care most of the time. So Zibanejad used to be a guy that busted his ass, but last year he looked just disinterested and lazy too. So
yeah, he's still upset about Barclay Goodrow, by the way.
Why you bring the 3 of those guys? You keep bringing them back, and you're expecting different results. And yes, I know before anyone kind of sarcastically says, those pesky no movement clauses. I understand that they can hinder you in the case of Zibanejad, Panarin, but as we've discussed, there are ways around that. Whether it be some constant badgering, we want to move on in a different direction. There's things you could try to do to make that player crack and make a big change, but that hasn't happened. And I don't think, and thank you, Matt, but I don't think that, I think it's clear as day. You don't win with a player like Artemi Panarin. He's incredibly gifted, incredibly talented, but he's not a guy you win with. He doesn't have that it factor come playoff time. He doesn't want to get hit. He doesn't want to compete, and he's rubbed off on Lafreniere. I mean, this is Laugh's 6th year now, and outside of that 1 year where he did well, and you're thinking, okay, maybe he's arrived, maybe he's going to take the next step. I mean, last year he just reverted. So yeah, I get being upset, but at the end of the day, yes, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. It is just 5 games, but I don't think this core as it constantly constructed is going to get over the hump.
Agreed, Anthony, but we're not here to wave the pom-poms either, even though I'm going to be very much more positive about the other New York team in a second. But it's
even Johnny Lazarus said that he doesn't think that Artemi Panarin is going to ever show what it takes to win. No. And usually Lazarus is not somebody to call out somebody like that.
Yeah,
he'll call me out for getting on Igor Shesterkin in his contract, but he won't. Normally he does not do that with players. So for him to come out and say that, I was like, wow, like okay, like I think we've come to a head here, come to a crossroads.
Yeah, even Johnny Lazarus is saying that they need to move on from Artemi Panarin. Well, guys, let's go over to the other New York team right now, who, while they haven't had the best of home starts or just starts in general, at least they're able to score in their own building. The Islanders, they're 0-3 right now. They've allowed 4 goals at least in each one of their games, and their penalty killing, they're at 70%. They were second to worst in the league last year. Not a good beginning to the season for Ilya Sorokin. We expect all those numbers to get better right there. But One thing we could all talk about, and a lot of people are talking about it around the league, Matthew Schaefer has been impressing everybody in the first 3 games. Got an assist in his first NHL game, got a goal in his first NHL home game. You look at these numbers right here, and you look at this quote from Patrick Waugh. He's so good. He was our best player here tonight. He's excited to watch. If I'm a fan, I'll pay to watch him. There's no doubt about it. So, Anthony, first, I guess, give us your thoughts on Matthew Schaefer and what you've seen, and then go into the rest of the Islanders week.
All right. Honestly, incredible. I mean, he's exceeded my expectations. Like, this is a kid that literally just turned 18 in the middle of September. Like, and last year, because of his injury, he only played 17 games. So he barely played last year. He's young. So you're kind of like, yeah, you hear about his skating, but how is he going to be? And he looks the part of a first overall pick. His skating is unbelievable. The way he gets up the ice, how he can transition the puck, how he back checks, how fast he gets back in the play, the composure. I mean, this is a guy that you're seeing his time on ice stats. He's playing like 20, 24, 25 minutes a night already. By far their biggest minutes logger on their back end. And the thing about it is he doesn't look out of place doing it. It's just it's hard not to gush over him because he was a first overall pick, so you have high expectations. But again, you don't yeah. That's funny. I'm an Islander fan. He's great. Honestly, he's great. I think that he's kind of gave the team a jolt. Not that it's translating to wins, but more so the fans. I mean, when he gets the puck and he starts going, you could feel that excitement in the arena with the fans getting kind of moving to the edge of their seat. So. Yeah, he's been fantastic. Waugh said, like, when they're asking about the minutes, and Waugh's like, how can I not play him? Like, he's deserving of it. So he's been phenomenal. As for the rest of the team, I mean, listen, they haven't won yet. Aside from him, their defense has not been good. Scotty Mayfield, his partner, has hindered him. He has not been good at all. Too many just stupid giveaways. In one game, Romanov and Tony DeAngelo have made similar mistakes. They're at the blue line. They give the puck up, breakaway goes back the other way, and it ends up in the net. And, Sorokin needs to be better. You call out a spade. He absolutely needs to be better. But, when you're facing all these high danger chances, it's hard to completely blame a guy. But yeah, Ilya Sorokin definitely needs to be better. The rest of their defense needs to figure they need to be better. And Mark, you criticize Patrick Waugh, and I kind of say, I'll admit he needs to do something differently. The D pairings are not working right now. Philip mentions the pair of Schneider. Who's the other guy Schneider's playing with?
Vakanainen.
Yeah,
Vanilla Bean.
The pair of DeAngelo and Romanov right now have been equally as bad. They're not good. They're not meshing well. Waugh needs to switch up the pairings. He needs to do something different because the rest of their defense has just been brutal. You move to the forwards. I mean, outside of Kyle Palmieri and Max Shabanov, no one has really stood out. Barzal he's skating well, and when he's on the ice with Schaefer, they're dancing out there together. But Barzal only has 1 point in 3 games. That's not good enough. Horvat needs to be better. Emil Heineman, he scored a goal. He does have a good release, but right now he's playing in the top 6. Why they don't have Shabanov, who is honestly, if you're talking just pure skill, he's the only other guy that has more skill than him is Barzal, and you're playing him on the third line right now with Pajot. Granted, they seem to have some good chemistry, but you move him up. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but it was the game against Washington. Shabanoff did like a spin-orama move in one motion to get to the slot. He missed the net, but that play alone was like the fans were like, whoa, you can hear the gasp in the crowd. And then he hit the bar last game. So he's been really good. You got to move him up. But so, yeah, similar to the Rangers, I mean, for them, it's not 5 games. It's just 3 games. So it's early. But despite the losses, this has a different feel for Islander fans. And I'll just speak from my perspective. Years past, starting off 0-3, I'd be all sorts of pissed off, but I'm not. You have Matthew Schaefer who looks fantastic. You have Cal Ritchie who's going to start developing in Bridgeport, who's going to be a hell of a player. You have the Cavalry coming at the end of the year from the NCAA that will be on the team next year, and Eiserman, who's tearing up BU right now, Danny Nelson. You have Aitchison and Victor Eklund playing in other leagues who are going to be big pieces on the team in the future. So you have all this good stuff coming, and if they suck enough to imagine if they can somehow get Keaton Varoff or Gavin McKenna. I mean, Ranger fans would probably jump off a bridge at that point. But so that's the point, is if they suck again, bring it on. I mean, I'm here for it. So years past, I'd be really upset just because
you're missing another player to add into those guys who I think is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Just sorry to interrupt with that.
No, who would I think?
Ivar Stenberg. Stenberg is going to be
in that class. Yes,
friggin' player, man.
Yes, no, he's that's why that point. So to bring that point, the Islanders have 2 first-round picks. It's a deep draft. If they suck again, they add another really another good piece. Whereas years prior, they're 0-3. I'd be mad right now because they had no future. Lou was doing things the wrong way, but now it's the complete opposite. So yeah, I mean, while I would surely like them to start winning some hockey games, I'm really happy where the organization is right now and where they're headed. So yeah,
totally disagree on this. Totally disagree on this. Stenberg's hockey sense might be the best in the draft. McKenna's skill is easily the best in the draft. But really, it's funny you brought that up because this is what happens when you have a good general manager. When someone establishes an identity, an MO, and a direction.
Yep.
And that's what Matthew Darche did. From the minute he stepped in, he identified problems. He saw that the previous way under Lou Lamoriello wasn't working, wasn't going to work going forward, wasn't sustainable. And now they look like a team that has an incredibly bright future. And you talk about Cole Eiserman, 5 goals in 3 games at BU so far. That's a friggin' hell of a start. Funny enough, he looks like, I don't know, a certain guy that played for BU years ago who's having a hell of a start in the NHL right now in Jack Eichel. Oh, I mean, it's scary to say this, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm more positive about the Islanders right now too, and I love what I've seen from Matthew Schaefer. This kid is probably my favorite Islander, and I was saying this before, since Ziggy Palffy. And Palffy was the last guy that I was like, wow, like I loved watching him on the island. He was great. Phenomenal. I know there's a certain somebody here that has him as part of his user handles, specifically his name screen name for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just an incredible player. He's got an incredible demeanor. He is just one of the better skaters in the league. What was the stat that you wanted to share, Anthony?
Oh yeah. So NHL Edge, which it's the division at NHL.com that basically kind of tracks like metrics and kind of some, not traditional stats, but it said that, let me just pull it up here. Schaefer's impact point, speed, and more. Matthew Schaefer is tied with Connor McDavid for 4th in the entire NHL in 20-plus mile-per-hour speed bursts, 21 each, behind only Nathan McKinnon, Quentin Byfield, Marty Necas. And then Schaefer's total in that category is 10 more than the next closest defenseman. And mind you, That includes Cal McCarr, anybody, 10 more than the next closest defenseman. So, yeah, his skating is special, and it's hard not to be in awe over it.
It's also hard not to be in awe of a kid that has the confidence just over 18 years old, literally not even a month past his 18th birthday, comes out and is just carrying the puck up and down the ice. And I mean, I don't want to use Bobby Orr, but just the impact on the game that he's having is just like, wow. Like when you see him take the puck from end to end and he's skating just past everybody and flying past all these guys, it's hard not to like it. And not only that, but I mean, he lost his mother to cancer at 17 years old. This kid's been through the friggin' ringer. Mm-hmm. And he's so easy to root for. And you'll love it. You absolutely love it. He's got a great personality. He's fun. He also kind of reminds me of Ovechkin in that personality, like that goofy, fun-loving, just out there, aloof type of personality that he has. Like he's got that glisten in his eyes that we all had when we were young. Like I think of like the Billy Joel song, "The Angry Young Man," like and how he became like the angry old man. Like Schaefer had that he has that glisten and that upbeat mentality to him, and it's just again easy to root for. Hell of a skater. I think the hands and the shot need to improve a little bit, but I'll tell you right now, the hockey sense better than I thought too at this level.
Yeah.
I mean, he jumped that goal. Like, that's a risky play. And it's a major judgment play to be able to jump into that scramble. Because if he misses that, or if that doesn't convert, and that puck somehow gets past him, he's screwed. That's either a breakaway or at the very least a 2-on-1 with a defenseman that's not nearly as capable of getting back as he is. But knowing him, his recovery is unbelievable, man. When he gets beaten, he can just close that gap right away and get right back with the best of them. So you guys have got a monster on your hands, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, those are all my sentiments when it comes to him. And his personal tragedy has really led to his growth. You heard the interview with his father. Well, he had to. And it's given the Islanders a very mature player to start with. And I just hope he still has the time to be 18 and really enjoy all this as well. To the Islanders themselves, you could always work on the defense and get that back in line, start cutting down some goals. I thought I don't hate their games so far. And yes, Anthony, you were saying it earlier, and we kind of said it in our group chat last night. There's a difference in perspective because the Islanders don't have this cup or bust perspective. They know where they kind of are. They're a retooling team, and you're able to have a different mentality with them because they might strip things down this year. They might send some players off in a different way. And you also know that the cavalry is coming. And for all the stuff people want to talk about with Lou, there's a reason why Callum Ritchie's on this team. Cole Eiserman's going to be on this team. Yeah. And why Danny Nelson could be on this team. Those are all three players that Lou got. So maybe Lou might deserve a little bit of credit at the end of this. But Darsh came in, put his stamp on it, and has done a fantastic job so far. Now, to the actual games themselves, their penalty kill still is a huge problem. I still can't put a stamp on what a Patrick Waugh team is, but at least he's playing the young kid, and he's trying to develop him. Shabanov should be playing more. He had his first NHL goal against Pittsburgh, and there's just a different feeling again with the Islanders. There's a lot more positivity, and they got room for growth, whereas the other New York teams seem to be shrinking. Wicked saying right here, Nelson isn't really a line driving. I would like to see him at North Dakota. I don't see him as a 3C. He played his best hockey ever at the World Juniors.
Not North
He's not
Dakota.
wrong about the World Junior part. He was phenomenal. At the World Junior.
Oh, Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame, not North Dakota.
Yeah, Notre Dame
is for Notre Dame.
My bad. I saw ND immediately. I went to North Dakota.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it's okay. That's an easy mix-up. It's
very
easy to do that, especially when you're not specific about it. But yeah, I mean, I've watched a little of him this year. Not really doing a whole lot. You would like to see more, but again, it's 2 games. He's got no points, but it's 2 games. I wouldn't be too concerned about that yet. But yeah, I do think that he's a future NHL piece. I've said middle 6 center. So, I mean, if he's in your top 9, I think you got a good player there.
Yeah, and as opposed to say, it's unfair, but you're always going to be compared to the Rangers anyway. You got the other team, which is trying to get 1 more ounce out of Connor Sheary, which 2 other teams weren't able to do before that.
I want to go put my head through a wall.
They got their young talent down. I mean, honestly, it's sort of like we're strapped in the electric chair to borrow from Ride the Lightning that Filk has got on there. We'll be talking more about that later on the show. I guarantee that. But you know, there's one team that's setting themselves up for future success and one team that's just not. I understand it's 5 games, but this season is going to get a whole lot worse in Manhattan. I guarantee that. Let's go. Let's do some NHL Bar Talk, guys.
Shot. This is the easiest I've ever to answer.
I'm going to say beer. I can't even begin to describe.
I'm actually going to go crazy. I'm going to buy everybody around on this one. And I just want to open up by also saying I watched other YouTube channels recently, and I would have thought the New York Rangers won the Stanley Cup without scoring a goal at home. That's how good people were talking and being a little bit more positive. You know, we're trying to. We're always going to analyze positives and negatives, but when you give us overwhelming amounts of negatives, that's just where we're going to be. So we're not purposely trying to be negative. But anyway, guys, welcome back to Big Apple Hockey's Bar Talk. We're engaging our confidence on NHL topics based on our choice of drink. Are you so confident that you're buying around? So I'll have a beer. Oh, God, I'll have a shot. Nothing substantial, Johnny. Just, you know.
No, you missed me referencing you talking about Artemi Panarin and how I agree with you on how you said that you don't think he has what it takes to be a guy that you win with. And I wonder if he's checked out because he kind of looks at it like it, if you ask me.
Maybe the injury has something to do with that. But, I mean, this is where contract negotiations go. And as he's sitting there starting to look at the Rangers with graduation goggles, if you will, where it's like, I'm ready to move on, but I really like being here. That was a term from How I Met Your Mother back in the day. But let's look at this one, guys. I said to myself all along, put money on DraftKings on the first goal scorer was going to be Trent Frederick. And then the only goal of the game, Trent Frederick scores against the Vakanainen and Schneider pairing. Phil, looking at you, the Rangers should trade Braden Schneider for Leon Bichelle from the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, it's Lian.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, sorry. We'll fix that real quick. But yeah, I actually floated this idea around on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week or the week before. And the reason I say this, it's not just because I want to give up on Schneider. I just think that when you bring in Will Borgen and you pay him top 4 money, which he's bordering on that right now, and you're giving him top 4 minutes on the right side, you kind of, especially for a player that you didn't want to trade for Jack Eichel. Like,
yeah.
They did not pull the deal for JT Miller 3 years ago because of Schneider, because Vancouver's wanted him for years. And they didn't pull the Buffalo trade for Eichel, partially because of Schneider. The word that got out from, I think it was Larry Brooks and others, including, I think, Elliot Friedman and Frank Saravalli, said that they didn't want to trade Kravtsov, Hedel, Schneider, and Lundqvist for Jack Eichel. Like, I don't understand it. But the problem is that they have no depth on the left-hand side. Leon Bichelle doesn't really play much in Dallas because he's a left side guy, and Dallas's left side is one of the strongest in the entire NHL. And he may never get the minutes that he needs there because they've got a bunch of guys that are under contract long term that are all good left side defensemen. So I think the Rangers and the Stars could help each other out and help fix their depth problems by, making this trade. The Rangers need a lefty behind Gavrikov. I mean, Bichelle might not be ready for 20 or so minutes per game. And no, I didn't say he was washed. I said that he doesn't have what it takes to be a guy that you win with. Nice try, J.E. But yeah, I just think that there's something that could work between these two teams if they were to explore it. I just don't know if Dallas is going to give up on Bichelle yet. He's 21, so he's young, but I don't see a path for him in Dallas, and I don't see a path for Schneider in New York. I just don't. So why not make the trade? Should round.
Okay.
Will it happen? Somewhere between beer and shot. But should is definitely around.
Anthony, should the Rangers trade Schneider for Bichelle?
Similar to Filk. Yeah, but I don't know how feasible it is. So it's this is a guy in Bichelle that was a former first round pick. I think in 2022, he was a first rounder. So he's big. He plays the game the right way. I think he would improve the Rangers defense as a whole. But again, this is not something that I think is, like Phil said, it was just a sound idea that he floated, based on usage, but I don't think he's actually available. So yeah, I think it should happen, but it's probably not worth overanalyzing because I don't think it's anywhere close to being on the table of something that could happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just going to make it a hat trick and just agree, and we're going to get off this in a second. This is more one of those things if Bichelle would make the comments and say, all right, get me out of here. I'm never going to get playing time. There's no reports of him requesting a trade yet, right? So
no, nothing that I've seen, but it's I just wonder what they're doing with him because it's just they are. So right now he's third pairing. Lindell, Harley, and they moved Heiskanen to the right side, which is not his normal side. He's a lefty, so I'm kind of surprised that he's on the right side.
I think the real issue with this is that now Braden Schneider is another guy that's in limbo. The New York Rangers have done an excellent job developing everybody that's not named Will Cooley and pending that name being thrown out there. But and again, there was an eye roll in there in case if anybody didn't see the sarcasm. But it's, there's things that the Rangers need to figure out and how to use their players. And geez, I run out of words to say about this team, and not in a complimentary way, because Braden Schneider was the guy that was drafted by the previous administration, and I quote, "That's a guy you win Stanley Cups with." That's what John Davidson said the minute before they drafted him. And not only that, he's on the bottom pairing, and it's not a strong pairing. And he's another player in year 4 for him. It's or maybe even 5. It's just not going well. And figure out they got to figure out if he's going to be a long-term New York Ranger, because you don't want the same thing with Condre Miller, who everybody's been raving about, oh, look, he had 2 goals the other night for Carolina. Yeah, wait for it. He's going to make his mistakes. Or maybe he's not. The bottom line is he wasn't going to do this as a New York Ranger. And that's what really matters. And when you think about the future, you think about players and how they fit into your plans. And the New York Islanders said that with Cal Ritchie. They sent him down to Bridgeport on Monday, where he's got to get some more playing time and a little bit more seasoning. Anthony, the Islanders did the right thing by loaning Cal Ritchie to Bridgeport.
Yeah, I think this is a round. Get the hoop. I will say honestly, I think the way he was being used in the preseason, I think he was on his way to making the team out of camp, but then he got that injury that put him out 1 to 2 weeks, and I think that kind of really put the kibosh on happening at that point. So yeah, sending him to Bridgeport at this time is the right move. Again, he got hurt at the end of camp, so having him come back from injury and just, even though he's played an NHL game before with the Avalanche, but just throwing him into an NHL game right now, coming off an injury, even though it's minor, I think isn't the right move, especially being he would have played on probably like the 4th line. That doesn't do him any good. This is a guy that has high offensive upside, so for him to succeed, he needs to be put in that role. Playing in a top 6 role, which wasn't going to happen here right now. So he's going to go to Bridgeport. Waugh already said he's going to be the number 1 C there. He's going to play in all situations. So I think that's great for him. Let him tear it up, continue to develop, and I think you might be seeing him, sooner than later if the Islanders, continue to lose a lot of games. So yeah, good on him. That it looked like he might have had a pretty good shot to actually make the team out of camp, because he was doing all the good things, and he was certainly making the Islanders management happy. But the injury put the kibosh on that, and now they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, Phil, is this the right thing for them to do? Put him in Bridgeport?
Yeah, I'm gonna go around. Don't rush him. There's let him go down there and dominate and really get himself going, and then you can bring him up whenever you think he's ready. Maybe it's the end of the year. I do think he's eventually going to get a call up at some point this season. Obviously, depending on his progress and how well his production is down there, but I think it's going to happen. I just, at some point, I think they're going to want to test what they have with him, and I think he's going to go down there, play well enough, and he'll eventually work his way back up by the end of the season. I can't talk for some reason right now, but yeah, I just, it's the right move. It's the same thing. I look at the Rangers and the same thing with Gabe Perreault. Just let them go down there and develop, especially with 2 teams that are not exactly like winning right now. And the Rangers, obviously, they have their problems offensively. The Islanders, I don't know what happened to them playing defense, but they just, like Anthony said, the amount of absurdly, egregiously bad giveaways that they've made over the course of the season so far is astounding. It's not normally what you see from Islanders hockey over the last, I don't know, since Barry Trotz stepped in. Really, you haven't seen a lot of that. But yeah, nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with this. So just let him go, do his thing. He'll make his way back up. And if he doesn't make his way back up this season, then oh well, he probably starts on next year's opening night roster. No big deal.
Yeah, this is around, and the Islanders are definitely communicating with him, telling him what their plans are. And once again, it's another hat trick for us. This is a layup. Just, you got to let this kid play. Let him develop. Let him figure out. Let him become a star down there, and then get him up here. I would not mess with him in any way. Just let him play. That simple. I don't even need to give any further analysis on that. By the way, there is some breaking news right now that Devils goalie Jacob Markstrom will miss a couple weeks with a lower body injury.
Oof, that's not good.
And that is not good for the Devils. And it looked like he might have twisted his ankle on that second Columbus goal the other night, and that he kind of got it trapped under him as he was leaning over to try to make a save. So that's not good, especially when Jake Allen had to leave the game, and we think for cramps. That's what he left the game for. But we're staying in the Metro with the rest of this news and the rest of this topic, because you look at the Metro goal leaders. The guy that led it, who else? Alexander Ovechkin, who's been leading the Metro for seemingly forever in goals. Artemi Panarin with 37. That number, I guarantee, is going to go down, everyone. Then Rickard Rakell and Nico Hischier at 35. Crosby, 33. Seth Jarvis, 32. But tied at 9th was Brian Rust and Kirill Marchenko at 31. If you saw the goal Marchenko scored the other night, picked Jack Hughes' pocket, went right in on a breakaway, scored an easy one. Filk, we'll start with you. Columbus, Kirill Marchenko will lead the Metro in goals this season.
Shot? Like, I mean, I like Marchenko. I mean, that was a big jump in points for him last year, like, and goals. Like, so, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a bold. I guess this would fall under bold claims.
Well, him and Justin Brazeau are leading the Metropolitan Division
four
goals
in 3 games. Is a nice start, yes, but like, I mean, they're 1-2. Like I mean, their schedule so far has been what they beat Nashville they lost to Nashville 2-1. They had a big game against Minnesota where they put up 7 on them, and then they lost to the Devils. I mean, I'm not going too crazy with this. I'm sorry. Their next opponents. You want to know what their next 4 opponents are? Colorado, Tampa Bay, Dallas, and Washington. And then they have a little bit of a reprieve with Pittsburgh and Buffalo. But then they have Toronto, St. Louis, Isles, Calgary, Vancouver up and down. You don't know where you get from them. Edmonton, Seattle, Edmonton, and the Rangers. Like into mid-November. So that's the next 30 days worth of opponents right there. But it's just, I don't even, I'm not going to go crazy over Kirill Marchenko's start. I'm sorry.
All right.
Maybe he gets to a point per game. Maybe he proves me wrong. But like, I don't know.
Anthony, can I get you at least to a beer on this one?
I mean, maybe only because if Ovechkin takes a step back, if Panarin takes a step back, look at some other names on that list. I mean, Rakell, I mean, he's okay. Hischier's good. Wilson, I don't know if Wilson's going to replicate his year. Jarvis. So, I mean, I guess the point is there aren't really many like elite pure goal scorers in the Metro when you consider the fact that, some of them, Ovechkin and Panarin, are getting older. So yeah, you know what? I'll go beer for you, Mark, just because I do think Marchenko's got a very good shot. And because I guess the lack of really a lot of elite finishers in the Metro, I think he might at least have a shot. But if you want me to throw out another name, I could see. I guess I could see a guy like Seth Jarvis maybe if he really continues to bring his game to the next level. I mean, the Hurricanes are a good team, but yeah, I'll go beer on this one.
Again, I looked at this list and I made up this list and kind of tried to get this question out there because I don't think Ovechkin's going to do 44 again. I think it's just going to be too tall for an order for him. I don't think Panarin's going to have that motivation for 37, even though that was down from the year before. So you got Rickard Rakell, who's playing for his future, and Nico Hischier is an underrated guy. Crosby is ageless. Wilson will not get 33 again. And then you have Seth Jarvis, and Brian Rust and Marchenko. So basically, he had to get about another 4 goals. Hope we can. All right. But in this case, I've been liking what I've been seeing out of him, so that's why I'm at least going to make it a beer. It's not going to be a round; it's just a beer. I wanted to have some way to talk about Marchenko. Right now, he's leading the division in goals, but that's only 3 games. So who knows? Who knows? But you know what? It would be nice to see a star bud in Columbus, especially after everything that organization has gone through. And it looks like they are starting to really grow as a franchise. So hopefully they can make a jump to the playoffs in their case. One team that made that jump to the playoffs was the Ottawa Senators, and Brady Tkachuk will be out for at least a month. That could hurt a little bit, but Anthony, is Brady Tkachuk, or let me just say it like this, Brady Tkachuk is the most important Senator.
I mean, this is a tough, you got Stützle. Obviously, Olmark's a big part of their team in goal. Jake Sanderson's very good. Batherson. But I'm gonna go beer just because as good as Brady Tkachuk is, I think Stützle and Linus Olmark are just as important to them as he is. So I'll say beer on that. Which, by the way, in Tkachuk, they said he's in New York City. I guess getting a second opinion and trying to find out if he needs surgery. So he could possibly end up being out longer than a month, which is some people have alluded to, but just wanted to throw that in there.
Well, Anthony, I was going to redirect this back down to you anyway, but how much of this is going to also have to do with the Olympics? That he's going to make sure he recovers in time for the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he wants to be part of that. Yeah, I mean, even if he does have surgery, he's out longer than a month. I don't think the Olympics is in danger just because that's not until, February.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure he absolutely wants to be ready to go for that.
Okay. Phil, Tkachuk the most important Senator?
Beer, just because, like Anthony said, like Stützle, I mean, you could talk about Allmark too, but guy that I've been talking about a lot, who I think could have a monster year, I've said it, Jake Sanderson. I mean, it's tell you right now, he's incredible. Put up 57 points last year, solid defensively, great at closing the gaps, playing one-on-one positionally. Like he's just one of the better all-around defenders in the league for my money. And I think there's still a lot of room for him to grow. So it's a guy that can really take over a game when he wants to. But I'll tell you right now, Tkachuk, a driving force on the team, absolutely. Stützle's their best offensive player.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, guy had a 90-point season a few years back. But I can't say this is a shot or a round. So I got to say beer.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go out on a limb, and I am going to say round on this one.
Okay.
He's not their offensive driving force. And again, this is just an opinion. This isn't even like a factually or a statistically based one. But he's really like the driving force. He's that attitude that the team's got. If I try to say that Stützle is the talent, Giroux would be the brains, the backbone would be Sanderson, Shabbat, and Allmark, but Brady Tkachuk is the balls. And he's the balls of the team. I thought about saying chutzpah for this one,
too.
but what?
Heart too. He's the heart.
Yeah, he's the heart. All right. Well, the ball sounded a lot better in my mind. I went with that one. But Brady Tkachuk, they take a cue from him, and he's a guy that I definitely would want in my lineup and pencil in as much as possible. Hopefully, the United States is able to do that in the Olympics soon enough. But Ottawa, you don't want to be without Tkachuk for too long, especially in that Atlantic Division. Right now, they start out the season 1-2, but that you could get buried in the Atlantic Division pretty quickly with the amount of teams that are trying to say, "Hey, we're in this too." Speaking about teams that could get buried, one of the guys here, that guy down below, we predicted first coach fired, and he said could go to the Utah Mammoths, Andre Tourigny. And the Utah Mammoth has begun the season 1-2 in their first 3 games, including a loss to the Chicago Blackhawks. Andre Tourigny or Tourigny. How do I pronounce it? It's Tourigny.
Tourigny.
Tourigny. Okay. Andre Tourigny has till Christmas on his hot seat, Anthony.
I mean, I know we're predicting the first coach fired just because I think they've assembled, a bunch of young talent now. I think, last 2 years, talk about could they get close. I think this is a year where they expect to compete. But I mean, it's 1-2. It's 3 games. I'm not going to sit here and say something's wrong yet, but yes, and sticking with my original prediction, I do think if they struggle, I think that he might be shown the door because I think they have higher expectations this year. I mean, they added a guy like JJ Peterka to their already, good young talented team. I mentioned before, American Thanksgiving is usually viewed as the benchmark of, kind of what you're going to be. So I think maybe if they're behind the 8 ball by Thanksgiving, significantly, I think, maybe they eventually they look to make a move, but, it would have to be they'd have to be pretty far behind. Like if they're just on the bubble, they're not going to make a move. But if they're already towards the bottom of the West with an extremely uphill climb that they need to make to get back into the picture, then I think they might let him go.
Phil, so by the way, what was that? Was that a beer?
Beer, yeah.
Okay. Phil, what do you got?
I'm looking at their schedule, and they've got some games that could be really tough over this month. So they got Calgary coming up next, San Jose after that, Boston, and then Colorado, St. Louis, Minnesota, Winnipeg, Edmonton. I mean, this stretch from the 19th, and Boston's playing good hockey right now, decent hockey, I would say. So they're an up and down team, but after that, it's Colorado, St. Louis, Minnesota, Winnipeg, Edmonton. And Colorado's the only one that's on home. The next 4 of those teams are on the road. Then they come back home for Tampa. Then they have Buffalo. Then they have Toronto and Montreal and Ottawa, all on the road. And then they have Buffalo, the Islanders at home, Anaheim and San Jose on the road, Vegas at home, Rangers, Vegas again at home, Montreal, Dallas, St. Louis. So that's their schedule through the end of November. And Anthony talked about American Thanksgiving. I'm actually going to go round. I think round it's possible. It's very, very possible that if that schedule is not kind to them and they come out of that schedule looking like a disaster, I think he's absolutely gone. I do. And I think Anthony's right about the expectations now. You go and you bring in JJ Peterka. You only gave up really Michael Kesselring, who was a nice defenseman for them, but it's a replaceable defenseman. I know right hand defensemen are always in demand, but Kesselring was good, not great, decent. I mean, and then Josh Jones, a decent 4th liner, but yeah, you can't go and get off to the type of start that they have. I mean, this honestly, the next couple of weeks could really, really, really show you where that team is going, because if let's just say they come out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, these next 9, sorry. These next 9 games, let's just say they come out of that stretch going, I don't know, 3-6. or 2-7. Like that could really start. You could really start to hear the whispers pick up about Tournier and him really being on the hot seat. So yeah, I'm gonna go round here.
Yeah, I'm gonna flash that round again on that one. I'm gonna take that down, Phil. I'm gonna wait 1 second and I'm gonna put that right back up again. You hear me quote this a lot over the years that we've done these streams, but I think about the movie Predator, of when Schwarzenegger has to turn to Carl Weathers and say, "We either make a stand now or there won't be anybody left for the chopper." And I spared you guys the Arnold accent. "We make a stand now or there won't be anybody left for the chopper." I decided to do it anyway. So this is where you got to realize you're up against very tough competition in your division, including the Predators, who are trying to say, "Hey, we're not a last place team." So if the Predators improved, that means other people are going to get losses out of that. They've scored a total of 5 goals so far this season. They're not really getting their offense going. I gotta give them some time. I'm not saying fire him right now. This isn't Denny Savard back, 16 years ago with the Blackhawks. But this is something that now there's expectations on this team, and this team wants to make the playoffs, and they're not going to just sit back and say, "Well, it's a tough division. You did your best. That's about it." No, they're not going to have any excuses. And yeah, Phil, you look at the schedule. They got, I think you outlined those 9 games. You talked about Calgary, who they're fighting for the playoffs against, who isn't starting well right now either, with only 1 win. But yeah, they get San Jose, who we've predicted they're not going to be as bad as they were last year, or even Boston. But this is what the Central is going to throw out of you. Then you have the Avalanche, the Blues, the Wild, the Jets, the Oilers. That's 5 consecutive games against playoff teams. And then you get into the month of November. As you said, yeah, you get Tampa. You get a reprieve because you got Buffalo, which is basically like the bye week for any team that plays in the NHL right now. But then you got to go Toronto, Montreal, and then Ottawa before facing Buffalo again at home. Look, this team could be something, but they're going to have to answer those questions, and you're going to have to actually start beating teams that are, quote, better than you. You can't always be developing. You got to make the jump at some point. And I think there's a real chance that they might move on from. Who do they move on from? I have no idea. You just call Bruce Boudreau, who seems to always get these mid-season teams, or do you just is there a name out there that you could bring in? I don't know if I go to like a Peter Laviolette or somebody like that. I think it has to be a veteran coach if you're going to replace him. So I think
Boudreau is a fit there. I you know what, honestly, with all that young offensive talent, I mean, he's not going to win you a cup just because his game never translates in the playoffs.
Hockey's Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, pretty much. I would bring him in to develop those kids, and get guys like Gunther and Logan Cooley and not really more so Clayton Keller because he's older than those guys, and he had a 90-point year. So, but get all those younger guys like Simashev and all those guys to that next level offensively.
Like, there's a reason why we keep going back to Utah and talking about them with potential, because there is potential with this team. And it seems like they now identify their goaltender. Well, not seems, they did. It's Carl Vejmelka. And the question is now, can you put it together in a tough division? This is not an easy division. So now all excuses out, just throw them out the window. You're going to have to find a way to be better than the St. Louis Blues, a team that I'm expecting to make a bigger jump. And right now, the way Kaprizov is playing, he wants to win the MVP and bring the Wild back to the playoffs. And we don't think any of the top 3 teams in the Central are missing it all. This is where Utah needs to start and really, they got to focus, bear down, and it's gut check time. It's getting near it. I'll say it that way. One team that's also not having a good start, the Los Angeles Kings. 1-2-1 to begin the season. And by the way, that one was a OT shootout loss to the Wild that they were trailing 3-0 going into the third. But Phil, their goals per game this season, 3.75 versus last year where they were 2.48. There was a certain now Rangers defenseman that was in the lineup for them last year. And that's what I have to ask you, Phil. The Kings will miss Vladislav Gavrikov.
Get the hoop.
Yep.
Ugh, this might be the layup of all layups, Mark. Like, I mean, like, we're talking like meat locker at Boss Croker's, like, ice cold layup status. Like,
well, what this means is that they're going to miss him because they're going to be in the bottom third, not the top, not ranked second overall.
But you didn't put that a part of that. Like, this statement is very vague, and it just says they're going to miss him.
This is where pre-production meetings.
That is a layup in itself. Like, that is the layup of all layups in itself.
All right, so they're going to miss Gavrikov, but go on to that.
Yeah, see? Mm-hmm. See? Oh, Marcus. Oh, captain, my captain. And there it's it's an absolute layup. Like, I mean, we have a Blake Griffin jersey to give you for all those layups, buddy.
Okay, well, keep going.
Yeah.
There's a lot of layups today. I'm not happy about that.
All right, so you get rid of one of the better shutdown defensemen in the entire NHL, and your goals against has plummeted. And
geez.
Yeah. What did you expect to happen? Like, it's not that they wanted him back, but you can't really like expect them to be as good defensively without a guy like that.
Who'd have thought Cody Ceci didn't plug the hole?
Goals against, they're 27th out of 32 right now with 15 goals against in 4 games. That's almost 4 goals per game. So, yeah. No, they didn't miss him at all, while Ceci and Dumoulin are rated as one of the worst pairs in the league. You got to stop dreaming about the Isles and Schaefer. It's rotting your brain. Brant Clark is not supposed to replace Gavrikov.
Thank you, Abe. Thank you. That's where we're trying to get at with these conversations.
Coming from, but that is not the case. Brant Clark was drafted as a puck mover. He was not drafted as a shutdown guy. I mean, maybe playing just on the same side, but it's like still like he is not a shutdown defenseman. Like, I don't know what we're doing here, and I don't know where.
Well, they brought in Brian Dumoulin and Cody Ceci.
Like they were going to have him play on the left side, out of like position. Like I don't know what you. Yeah, I don't know what you're expecting of that. I mean, he's got 2 points so far in 4 games, not bad, but I mean, he was definitely not drafted to be a shutdown guy. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. Then yes, by the way, yes, this is a layup of all layups, and I needed something to talk about. Don't worry, we're going to talk about another guy in that area that's performing pretty well right now in about a second. But Phil, this is just one of those things. We questioned Ken Holland on free agency day with the boys from Rangers Central, and it's just one of those things, Phil. You're like, great, you lost Gavrikov. That's one story, but then your answer was Dumoulin and Cody Ceci and bringing Corey Perry. And what exactly is going on in Los Angeles right now? They're 1-2-1. They have not looked good at all. Like, and credit them for coming back against Minnesota, but they were able to get 1 point. They could have been winless and pointless on the year. So I just don't know, Phil. that's just it's just what
They've
were you
got
thinking?
scoring depth so far. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, Kempe's got 2 goals and 5 points. Byfield's 2 goals and 2 assists in 4 games, point per game. Kopitar has no goals, but he's got 4 assists. He's a point per game. Doughty's got 3 assists in 4 games. Kuzmenko's got a goal and 3 points in 4 games. Fiala, 2 goals and 3 points in 4 games. I mean, their scoring is really kind of falls off after that, like big time.
Yeah.
And they have a bunch of guys that still don't have points, like Alex Laferriere doesn't have a point yet. He's -2. Warren Fogle has, again, no points and -2 in 4 games. Trevor Moore has 1 goal in 4 games, is a -2. Alex Turcotte has 1 assist. He's an even. I mean, it just, some of their depth scoring is just bad, but their top guys are scoring, and they're 14th out of 32. It's not terrible, but yeah.
But when you're hemorrhaging goals, you better be higher than that.
If you're hemorrhaging goals, you better be in the top 5 to 3 in the league. If you're going to hemorrhage goals like that, because that's the only way you're going to get to even sea level.
Yeah, and they got much more that they're going to have to work on with that. And speaking about some other thing, I know Phil, I feel like I constantly make this Bar Talk topic because we constantly got to talk about it. But the NHL video review average takes 2 to 3 minutes. Several this season have taken over 5 minutes. The Schneider first goal review took over 7 minutes.
Schaefer, not Schneider.
Whatever. Right now, I'm just pissed off.
Oh, God.
All right. So anyway, I just called him Schnafer. Matthew Schaefer goal review. I'm still not sure what they were looking at. They were looking at a hand pass, and Spencer Carberry still thinks it shouldn't have stood. I mean, I thought they were looking at maybe Horvat bracing his stick on Thompson's pad, but still, Phil, the point of this is the NHL needs to restrict the time of video reviews.
Yeah, I think this should be like the case in all sports. If something is not conclusive enough where it's taking you that long, and you shouldn't be slowing down the game completely to review these. I get getting them right, but if something is so inconclusive that it takes you 5 to 7 minutes to review, then do we need to overturn that? I mean, yeah. I don't know. I just think it's I think it's just crazy how this works. Like, baseball's really bad with it too. Mm-hmm. Football gets, football, at least they can hide behind TV timeouts. Baseball and hockey, they don't do that. But football always hides behind a TV timeout, and they usually get it done by the time they come back, which is good. So, if you can't figure something like offsides, like if you can't figure out whether a player is offside in, like, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes, then I think there's something going wrong. Like, if you need to look at every single, like, angle that you can find, and you can't do it in 2 to 3 minutes, especially with that war room that they have and the amount of people that are operating it, maybe there's not enough to overturn something there then at that point. So, yeah.
So that's a round for you, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go around there.
And go around right there. And by the way, again, I'm just going to throw this right up. I bring this back up, Phil, because I'm reminded of when the NFL brought back instant replay, and they had a 90-second limit. That's originally the way they said it. If it doesn't work after 90 seconds, call stands. If you can't find it. Now it's like unlimited, and they can take forever. Now every call gets reviewed. And by the way, with every call getting reviewed, you really do need to limit this time. Now, granted, referees are now more tempted to swallow their whistle, knowing that it's going to be instant replay. They could always turn it over that way. But first off, let's go with the human component on this one. Matthew Schaefer scores his first NHL goal. The building gets electric. You're going, yeah, wow, there's the call on the ice. That's the moment he'll never forget. He pumps his fist, celebrates, faces the fans. They're all cheering. Everybody's starting to think to themselves, I was there for Matthew Schaefer's goal. And then it ends up getting called back. Now, that would happen with replay after 90 seconds anyway. But to sit there for 7 minutes on it, if you couldn't find it in the first 2 minutes, what made you think the extra 2 minutes were going to matter at all? And I still haven't even gotten to the next 3 minutes that went on after that. And furthermore, for Carberry, I actually thought it was a terrible challenge. Go ahead, let him have the first NHL goal. You're up 4-2. If you don't win it, which he didn't, the Islanders went right back to the power play. They could have made it 4-3. That's one concern I had. Now, I know that he's saying, oh, it should have been hand pass. It was clearly a hand pass. I don't know if it's clearly a hand pass. I still don't know. And again, the video review, if you're going to make them this long, Phil, don't ever talk about the pace of the game. And the NHL's pace of the game is great. You can watch a game and literally be done in 2.5 hours. It's probably them and baseball now, the two faster ones. And yes, I said baseball because I know a lot more baseball games that are faster than that, and NFL games that take over 3.5 hours, and NBA games, forget it. Every 5 seconds they're at a review with in the fourth quarter, especially. So, just this is something NHL, get it corrected. You can't find it, don't go looking for it. It's stupid. Just get it fixed. Yes, we want to get the call right, but if you have to look that long, then you're not getting the call right. You're just looking for something. And I can't tell you how many times when they went to goal review with the Rangers a few years ago, I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. And look, Ranger fans have seen this too. Vitaly Kravtsov had his first goal overturned, and then he joked about that for a little bit. Little did we know it would be one of the few goals he'd score in the NHL. But it's something. It's not a matter of the circumstances, because if you're going to do this, if you're going to do stupid stuff like this, then you better do it when Brett Hull has a skate in the crease. And we all know how that turns out. So, all right, guys, that's the end of Big Apple Hockey's Bar Talk, where you guys stood by me with all the layups I was throwing out there today. Thank you very much. Usually we're not as bad on that one, but let's do some Big Apple Hockey Pick'ems.
I've got a gut feeling.
You want me to do two things?
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Now shoot!
All right. In this one, I just give you some simple choices. There isn't the beer or the shot or anything. You just make the selection. And Phil, let's look at two guys that are absolutely on fire in the goal scoring department. You have Pavel Dorofeyev or Chris Kreider. Which one are you taking for more goals this season?
I'm going to go with Dorofeyev. I know that everybody's going to be like, oh, well, you're not the biggest Chris Kreider fan, and you're not happy with Kreider and what happened with him last year as a Ranger. No, I expected Kreider to get back above 30. Like I said that they would miss 25 to 35 goals with him this year, just because 25 would be a low end if he came back this year and was still checked out. 25 he could probably get. But the issue with Kreider is consistency, and this is something I've been on him for years for. And I'll always point to two seasons. One was the 2018-19 season. He had 20 goals in his first 38 games of that season. He finished with 28. 28 goals after 20 in the first 38 games of the season. That's terrible. The other season is the 2021 season, the 56-game COVID-shortened season. 9 of his 20 goals came in a 6-game span in the middle of the season. He had 11 goals in the other 50 games of the season. So he's just very, very, very streaky. Very, very streaky. And yeah, there's also
he is very streaky.
Yeah, there's no pressure on him. He can just go out there and play. He's got a new reinvigorated attitude, but Dorofeyev is a younger player, and I think he's a more talented goal scorer overall. Not that I think that 5 goals in 4 games is a sustainable pace. I mean, he's shooting right now at 38.5%. Obviously, that's going to go down with more shots, but this is a guy the last 2 years in his first 2 seasons, full 2 seasons, shot 13.4 and 13.8%. And those are achievable numbers for, good goal scorers. So I also think with the players that Dorofeyev has around him, I think that he I think it's very, very possible that he could possibly even hit 40 this year. So I love what they have there in Vegas. Obviously, they needed somebody to replace Pietrangelo at some point. But right now, their lines are Barbashev, Eichel, and Mark Stone. And then their second line is Hurdle, centering Dorofeyev and Marner. That might be the best second line in the league. I don't know if there's a better second line in the league than that. And you could see Hurdle get a career high in points because of that. Dorofeyev right now has 5 goals lead the NHL. So, but yeah, I mean, Jack Eichel's 9 points lead the NHL. Mark Stone's 6 assists lead the NHL. Dorofeyev's 5 goals lead the NHL. And Marner has 4 assists through 4 games. And he's a +5, which I think is right near the top of the NHL. It's not the top, but it's right near. Hurdle's got 3 points in 4 games. I mean, could this be a year where Hurdle reaches a point per game for the first time in his career? But Vegas has got they're a unit. They are a unit. And that top 6 depth might be the best top 6 in the entire NHL.
Yeah. And that's why I'm going Dorofeyev. I drafted him in fantasy late and very much right now reaping the rewards on that one. But you're playing him with Mitch Marner and Tomas Hertl. Yeah, it's going to be him. And I like that Kreider is able to go out there and be one of the guys out in Anaheim. He doesn't have to have an A, just needs to go out and he could be the veteran leadership without being like that veteran that they're going to have to count on or anything. Radko Gudas is the captain out there. Although they had they won the game against Pittsburgh last night, but one of the goals was a shot that broke the stick of Jacob Trouba and then fluttered past Lucas Dostal. that one just, you watched it in live time, you're going, oh my goodness, look at that.
Oh man, good old Trouba doing Trouba things.
Doing the Trouba things, but I think you're going to see the renaissance out of Kreider. Now, first off, let me also say this about Chris Kreider. You get a lot of people right now on Rangers Twitter and on Twitter in general going, well, no surprise. The guy's fully healthy. He wasn't healthy last year. The real issue is his age, and that father time is unbeaten. And I've said this over and over again. A team that gets him is basically acquiring him for 1 to 2 good seasons. This might be one of them. It would not surprise me Chris Kreider scores 40 goals this year, if not 50. However, Dorofeyev, who's had 35 last year, and now he's got Mitch Marner feeding him the puck. Austin Matthews looks like he misses Mitch Marner right now. So
Matthews, no, he's got a good amount of goals right now.
They get a little bit. I think they had a little bit of
a 3 goals in 3 games, Matthews. If I'm correct.
Yeah.
No, 3 and 4 games. Still, that's still very good so far.
Still very good, but that's still like those numbers you expect Austin Matthews put up. I think Marner's really gonna set the career high for Dorofeyev, and I would not be surprised if he pots 50 this year, the way that line is humming so far. And Phil, let's stay with those 2 guys in Vegas. And who's going to have more points, Jack Eichel or Mitch Marner?
I'm gonna go Eichel. I mean, especially if Eichel's playing on their top line. I know that. I mean, they're both very good defensive players, but Eichel's line is quite the line. I mean, him with Barbashev and Stone, that's an amazing two-way line that could just grind down lines in their own zone and then can shut you down if you get the puck back. That's one that might be the best like two-way line in the league. For my money at least. So yeah, I'm gonna go Eichel. I wouldn't be shocked to see both these guys score 100 points though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked on both these guys. I would think that if they were both playing together. My thing on that is Eichel plays against the other team's top lines. So that's why I think it's gonna be Marner is the one that's gonna be the guy that gets more points.
I just saw a comment. I'm gonna star that and we're gonna add it as an honorary pick'em at the end. So
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's look at the teams that haven't won a game yet right now. And this is a game in regulation. Or actually, no matter what, they haven't won a game. Who will finish with the most points out of the Islanders, Sharks, or Sabres?
Islanders. Yeah, I'm going to go Islanders.
I think it's conventional to say the Islanders.
I don't know if I trust San Jose's goaltending and their defense. I like the young players they have there.
Yes.
But, I mean, I think the Islanders are a better team on paper than both of these teams. And the Sabres, we all know that they don't do anything until they're like technically eliminated, where they just, or they're so close to it that they don't stand a chance of getting back into the race and making the playoffs. And then they just start playing spoiler. They go out there carefree. And that's, that's when they start playing better because they don't give a shit.
Or against the New York Rangers, who next month they'll start to just blow them out of the rink because they did that the day after the Four Nations break. And of course, the night of my rehearsal dinner, I remember watching those games. But the question is, can I trust the Sharks to improve that much? I guess I got to go the Islanders. And hopefully it's, Anthony's starting to side with me a little bit on this. I still have no idea what a Patrick Waugh coach team is. I mean, do they work hard? Do they take care of the puck better? What's the signature of the Patrick Waugh team? Is it their forecheck? It's not their penalty kill. I know that. So it's going to be it should be the Islanders. But if you look at the Sabres, all the Sabres had to do was get about 4 more points. They beat out the Islanders. Can San Jose get another 20? But by the way, on the topic of San Jose Sharks, did you see the Celebrini and Smith reenacting Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think they're a fun little duo to watch. I mean, Celebrini and Smith both have 3 assists. Orlov has 3 assists in 3 games. But then their depth after that is just not that good. Michael Misa is not playing because he just does not look like he's NHL ready yet.
I think he played last night, right?
He's played 1 game so far.
Yeah.
So he just hasn't looked the part of an NHL player. I know Anthony was high on bringing in guys like Letty and Klingberg to help them out, but I don't know. I could see maybe Mario Ferraro getting traded at some point. Colin Graf hasn't really developed into anything special at the NHL level. I know I wanted him for the Rangers out of Quinnipiac, but there's not a whole lot there. Tyler Toffoli. I mean, Jeff Skinner's got 2 goals in 3 games. Cool. We'll see.
Ryan Reeves has got a goal. I think he scored it at home. That would make him number 1 on the New York Rangers, by the way. Told you guys to be saying it a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, It's not a great roster on paper, really not. So I'm not gonna. I can't see them finishing ahead of the Islanders. I think the Islanders. I think you know what's funny. I honestly think that they're gonna work out their kinks, and Sorokin's gonna play better than what he's played, and that's why they're gonna finish with the most out of those teams. And
Sorokin
I don't think they could win the
way too
draft
good
lottery again.
to have put up the numbers he's putting up right now. He's way too good for that.
Yeah,
and hopefully the team
4.18 and 854. No, there's no way that lasts that long to that way.
No. And speaking about the Buffalo Sabres, and now the conversation is, can they actually start a rebuild again? So Rasmus Dahlin's future with the Buffalo Sabres, traded or staying? This is beyond this year.
I definitely think he's getting traded at some point. There has been too much smoke around this guy for too long, and I know he signed a long-term deal with them, but I think he's gone at some point. I think it could be after this year. If they miss again this year and they come like they're not even close, like they're like a lottery team again. Let's just say they don't get Gavin McKenna or Keaton Berhoff, and they're in the lottery. I mean, Ivar Stenberg would be just a great pickup for them. But I think that Dahlin is gone. Like he's expressed frustration before. Yeah, I would love to get Dahlin on the Rangers. Are you kidding me? That would be the ultimate pickup. Tuck would be a good fit for another team, but I don't know if he wants to leave. Like I think he's okay with the losing, and he just wants to stay there. He's from Buffalo. That's
he's from that area, so he'll want to actually be there.
But Dahlin for sure, and I think if it gets really bad behind the scenes there, I would think that they would take calls on Thompson. I don't know if they would actively do that, but yeah. If would I do a Lafreniere for a power trade? Yeah, I would. I would. That could absolutely help the Rangers out. Owen Power would be definitely welcomed in New York. I know that a lot of people are not high on like the contract, but he had 40 points last year. And he's a big, rangy, smooth skating left side D. So yeah, you could I would say two guys that I would target if I were the Rangers would be Dahlin and Power. And Power is going to cost a lot less than Dahlin to acquire. Dahlin's going to cost an arm and a leg. So let's just bring that out there right now. Dahlin would be the better acquisition, obviously, but Power would be someone that I think the Rangers would probably be interested in too. If they can't get Dahlin, I think they would absolutely want to take Power. But that package that Dahlin would go for, oh man. Well, no. I don't want anything to do with Tuck. I
don't think you're gonna get
sorry, but it's just no. Because what does he do for this team that they going forward? What does he do? Again, he's on the. I think he's 30. This Tuck or 29 or 30. Tuck is.
I have it on the other side.
He's 29.
He's got he'll
be 30 in May.
Yeah.
You're not saying Rangers. Okay. All right. Yeah, fair. Definitely for another team, but yeah, definitely not the Rangers. But yeah.
By the way, Phil, do you think you could actually put Dahlin and Fox on the same team?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, because you'll be paying $20 million to those two defensemen, and one of them's got to play power play one. You're not going to put both of them on power play one.
I mean, at that point, you're going to be paying close to 30 for those two and Gavrikov. You could put Gavrikov and Fox on a pairing, and then Darlene and Will Borgen, I guess, as your second pairing, because Will Borgen's going to be on second pairing until they have a defenseman that can come and seat him. And I would put both of them on the point.
Traditionally speaking, we would all agree with that 20 years ago without question. But I mean, it just doesn't happen anymore. And then I know it's a good problem to have, but again, it's where guys want to come in and know their roles. I don't know if Darlene waives his no move clause to come to the Rangers to be second fiddle to Adam Fox.
Yes, the problem is scoring goals, James. You're absolutely right about that. But you want to know where offense comes from? It comes from your own zone.
Yeah, it comes from the back end.
Breakouts. And there are not many better players in the league at moving the puck out of the zone. Look up zone exits. Rasmus Dahlin has to be one of the absolute best defensemen in the league at zone exits in terms of all the analytics and everything, because he's an incredible skater. He's also a great first passer, great at outlet passes. So he could fix that problem that the Rangers have, because Fox is great at passing, but the skating is not as good. And yeah, I'm with you on this, J.E. He fit, and I think I said this in the last stream, or maybe one of the final buzzer streams. But yeah, I see this. I really see that.
Well, the thing about Tuck is you got he's going to be a UFA this year. I still think he stays in Buffalo.
I think he fits what Toronto wants to do in the playoffs. Like, ever since they got Berube there, they've been wanting to build a more faster, physical team that plays a playoff brand of hockey, as they should. And I think if anything, that Tuck fits that to a T. Absolutely to a T.
And in a way, you got to empathize a little bit with the third highest paid Sabre, because you have the highest paid is Rasmus Dahlin. After that, it's Owen Power at 8.35. Then after that, do you know what the next highest paid Sabre is? Josh Norris. And
yeah, he got a weird contract from Ottawa.
Yeah.
For that 35-goal season he had years back.
And he's on long-term injured reserve. I just don't
definitely fit in Edmonton too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You don't know what's going to happen with him, but it seems like they might have moved to Dylan Cousins and gotten the lesser end of that trade. If Adams was smart, that's a great way to start that. He's not, so don't have to worry about it. So if Adams was smart, we trade, yeah. But
I'm not sure what you're saying here, Todd. Sorry.
Okay. I think he was trying to make a joke about headbanning the puck, but with Victor Hedman. But I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe I don't know.
All right, Phil. What was that honorary pick'em we had? It was right over here.
Yeah, it was actually JE. It's a funny one.
Oof. Here's a question:
do the Rangers score a goal at MSG before the Jets get a win, and the New York Jets, not the Winnipeg Jets, because the Winnipeg
You know what? JE, thank you. This is definitely going to be a short. Expect it on Friday. Let's see if we can break this one down, Filk, because the Jets get the Carolina Panthers this week, if I recall correctly. And the New York Rangers, they're going to have their next two games are going to be in Canada. So they don't get back to Madison Square Garden until Monday versus the Minnesota Wild. So the real question is, do the Jets beat the Panthers? Because if the Rangers don't score against the Wild, they're definitely scoring on San Jose. Although it's hard for me to say that, Phil, because the three goalies they couldn't score on aren't exactly Vezina Trophy winners.
Yeah, let's get rid of this. It's the one that you have up right now, the banner.
Here we go, Anthony.
I don't know why that's still there.
I don't know. There it is.
Yeah.
Because it was in the comments.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, this team is just it's not good at home. It's really, in terms of scoring. I mean, they play defense. I mean, as others have pointed out in the chat, I mean they play a more structured brand of hockey compared to what they played last season, and that that's absolutely for sure. But it's just for whatever reason they're gripping sticks too tight. I don't know, but it's whether the Jets are going to get the win on Sunday or I don't know. I could maybe see the Jets beating Carolina. Carolina's not a good team.
Yeah,
but yeah, no Garrett Wilson the next few weeks apparently, and then you have Boomer Esiason going around trading saying that they should trade Breece Hall for a 4th round pick. They can get a 4th round pick for him, make the trade.
I think they should do better than 4th round pick for Breece Hall. But
I mean, I don't know, like what running backs that are injured. I mean, do they really get all that much in return?
I don't know. I think they should get better than a 4th round pick. Anthony, which one do you think is going to happen first? Jets win or the Rangers get a goal in MSG?
Well, the Jets don't play until Sunday, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The Rangers don't play until Monday at home.
Oh.
And the Rangers get the Wild and then the Sharks.
I don't know. I mean, the Panthers just – I mean, their offense looked good against the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys aren't very –
Cowboys can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I don't know. I think the Panthers are going to beat the Jets. So, yeah.
They seem to have found something with Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle's been a monster the last 2 weeks.
They put up a 30 spot on Atlanta, and Atlanta is – oh, man. That's crazy.
By the way, that reminds me, Anthony. Thank you very much, Josh Allen, for throwing a pick on that last possession. Because they would have gotten the touchdown down 10, my numbers would have hit in the football pool. But
yeah, it was bad.
Brian saying if Bryce Young had balls against the Jets, then the Jet fans would storm the field. Yeah. But
Bryce Young.
You know what, guys? I'm going to go with the Rangers score first at MSG.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with that too. I don't think they're beating Carolina. I mean, Carolina for me, I like they're a weird 3-3 team.
They are.
Like,
yeah,
I don't understand how like they lose to Jacksonville. Okay, Jacksonville's been pretty good. They lose to Arizona. Arizona is not that good of a team. I'm sorry. They're I don't know how they beat Carolina. And then they kick the crap out of Atlanta. And they're a 3-2 team. And in their schedule, like they lose to Tampa, okay. They absolutely pound Minnesota. Then they get shut out 30-0 against Carolina. And then they beat Washington and Buffalo. Like, what is going on with Atlanta? Like, I don't know.
I don't know either, Phil. That's a great question. But, yeah, again, I just see Rico Dowdle and thinking that he's probably going to run all over the Jets.
This would be hilarious. This would be absolutely hilarious. The Jets tie. They don't win. And the Rangers go to a 0-0 shootout and win.
Yeah. I mean, if
that doesn't count as a real goal, though.
No.
It does not. That does not. That would actually happen. So, but if they don't score Monday, they got to score against San Jose. Come on, it's San Jose. So,
San Jose is so good.
Yeah. Oh,
Anthony, that prediction you had about San Jose is not looking good right now, buddy.
No, I know. I mean, they scored a couple of goals, but those first two games, they should have beat. I mean, they should have beat Vegas. That was atrocity.
Yeah, well, that was ridiculous. I showed that in the opener. And by the way, I also showed in the opener the Stuart Skinner own goal.
Yeah.
That's literally the goalie that shut out the Rangers and was trying to say how good they looked. It's like, oh, I'm surprised that they've been shut out so much.
The fact that Stuart Skinner got a shutout against his team just shows you how terrible they are at scoring goals at home. Stuart Swiss cheese Skinner, who they'll probably go into the playoffs again. They'll get to the Stanley Cup Finals because McDavid and Draisaitl are just ridiculous. They'll go and make a deadline acquisition, and they'll probably lose in the finals again.
Well, again, to say like this, Skinner at least turned it on for a while in the playoffs last year. But the problem is you get that good Skinner, bad Skinner. That's really the tough part.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, and that you don't know who you get until you show up on the ice. And usually you're well into the game by the time that happens. All right, guys, here we go with Puck Doku today. On our X-axis, we have Montreal Canadiens, the Washington Capitals, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. For our Y-axis, you have the Edmonton Oilers, the Los Angeles Kings, and 2+ cup wins with different franchises. So they have to win at least 2 cups and be on different franchises for each one.
Okay.
Gentlemen, where do you want to start?
So two cup wins with different franchises. All right. So
like for the Capitals,
I get it.
Yeah.
But you don't. But I believe that player didn't have to win the cup, but with that franchise, like with the Capitals. Like,
I believe you're correct on that. So Justin Williams would actually
as long as he's just won 2 Stanley Cups and played for that team, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click the square and see what it says, Mark.
Career franchise cup wins do not have to be on the selected team.
What I thought.
Okay, so it's just a player that played.
Player must have name engraved on the cup.
Okay, so it's just he could have won the cup with any 2 different teams.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, let me start with this one. Let me just throw this one at you guys. Penguins and Edmonton. Zdeno Seeger played for both, right?
I don't think he played for Pittsburgh.
I was gonna go.
I'm pretty sure he didn't play for Pittsburgh.
I was gonna go.
I know he played for Edmonton because he had his big 30-goal year that 96, I think it was, or 97.
Could have sworn he played. Nope. You know what? Did not. Okay, Anthony, who were you saying?
Dick Tarnstrom.
Dick Tarnstrom. Love it. Don't even need the blank. Dick Tarnstrom is a 1%er.
1%er.
Yeah.
Because he was on that Mario Lemieux power play.
Yeah, I was about to say he led the 04 Penguins in scoring.
But the Oilers, though, I mean, he wasn't an Oiler for.
No. But people.
Pittsburgh, and you can't use Tocchet. You can't use Stevens. You can't use Coffey.
You could use Tomas Sandstrom. Everybody forgets about him. And
I think he's going to be one of the more popular ones, Mark.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Brian Smolinski, I think, is going to be over 1% as well.
Probably.
Steve Hines, I don't think ever played for Pittsburgh. I know he played for LA.
No, he played for LA.
LA. Stumple never played for Pittsburgh.
Nope.
I know he was Boston for.
Robert Lang.
Robert Lang would be too popular. Another too popular.
Okay.
I don't think Mike Ridley ever played for Montreal, Todd. I don't think he did. And I actually, did Ridley even play? I know he played for Vancouver after Washington.
Did
Peter Rangers to Washington, and then he was with Vancouver.
Yeah, Mike Ridley never played for either one of those.
He never played for either one of those teams, actually.
Yeah. Anthony, who were you saying?
Did Peter Taglianetti ever play for LA?
That's a good one from the Pittsburgh side of it. I don't think he.
Nope, he didn't.
Nope.
No, he did not play for LA.
2 cup wins at 2 different franchises, and it's Pittsburgh. Chris Kunitz is going to be too obvious there.
Yeah, that's correct.
Same thing with Brian Trottier. I think Trottier
would be too obvious.
Yeah.
Mark Recchi would be too obvious.
Let's see, we're thinking about guys that won the 2 cups there. Sergei Zubov would not be.
Why would Zubov not be? I mean, Zubov's a big name.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A lot of people forget about him as Pittsburgh Penguin.
No, I don't think people forget about him as a Pittsburgh Penguin. I don't think Duguay ever won a cup.
I don't think Duguay ever won a cup. That's
I don't think Duguay ever won a cup, buddy. Sorry.
I mean, Larry Murphy, but I think
Larry Murphy is going to be very obvious.
He won with 1 franchise, right?
No, he won with 2. Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That would be 2 different franchises.
He was there for their first. So he was one of the big moves that actually helped get them over the top. When they acquired him and they got rid of Coffey, he replaced Coffey basically on the back end in the Brendan Shanahan trade. And that really kind of helped put them over the top.
Yep. Solid, by the way. He had a +16 and a +12, and he was +17 the first year they won with Pittsburgh. Second year, not so much. He was -4.
That 91 Penguins squad, like the one that went into the playoffs, is one of the most talented squads ever.
That's all good. We're gonna eventually have to fill out some of these squares, guys.
Patience, you Mariota.
Yeah, seriously, Mark. Like, calm down.
Now you're benched again because Jaden Daniels came back. But
yeah, you're not even Mariota. You're gone, dude. You're gone.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a lot of this time we're not on camera.
Okay, there's still a Puckdoku screen and there's still audio.
What about for Pittsburgh, LA? Peck, Jim Peck.
Jim Peck played in LA. I know he was part of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I actually do think Jim Peck did play
for
LA
at the end of his.
I don't know if he won with 2. No, he didn't win with 2 different teams.
No, I'm not.
But there's just the Pittsburgh LA.
Oh Jim Peck would be for that one. Yeah, he fits.
Okay, so yeah, Jim Peck. I think that works.
I think the 2002 Red Wings probably win because Hasek is still he's right at the tail end of his prime years at that point, and then he retired right after that cup win. But 9, 10 Hall of Famers now from that team with now Datsuk getting into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think the 2002 Red Wings team might be the most talented team I've ever seen on paper.
So for Oilers Edmonton, you got to figure Sheldon Schlurry might be the number 1 answer.
That's going to be too popular. Don't even try it.
I wasn't even going to try it. I just had a feeling it was going to be way too big.
What about Marc-Andre Bergeron for Oilers and Habs?
Did he play for Montreal, Bergeron?
Yeah.
He would be.
Did.
I would. Yeah, try him.
You think Marc-Andre Bergeron or Eric Fichaud?
Eric Fichaud never played for Edmonton.
He didn't? I thought he could have sworn he played for Edmonton.
Mariota, son of a gun.
The hell is that?
No, it was Nashville he went to. After. Yeah, I think he was traded. No, he was traded he was traded he did go to the Oilers for Mike Watt, but he never played for them.
So, wow. Well,
Marc-Andre Bergeron. So let's go.
Yeah, Marc-Andre Bergeron's fine.
0.6%. So we're still at 1, boys.
Edmonton and the Capitals.
I worked.
Never played for Edmonton, right?
I worked for the family.
Oh, so Chris Ferraro?
Chris Ferraro. Peter didn't play for But I'm pretty sure Chris Ferraro played for the Oilers and the Capitals.
All right, we'll
I know.
check that.
Yes, yes, you are correct.
Yep.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Oilers in 99 and 98,
Played
and the
one
Capitals.
game with Washington. Yes. Oh, great, Anthony. Great acquisition there.
He actually
What is
scored
he, a point?
Point
he
two.
scored a
two?
goal for the Islanders. I remember that.
Yeah.
So Kings.
Kings and Caps.
Kings and Caps.
I think John Druce actually fits this. I'm pretty sure Druce played in LA in like the mid-90s.
Actually, I believe you're correct. Yes, he did.
John Druce does fit this. Yeah, it was
Okay.
the mid-90s.
Well, the Druce is loose, and he's all over this category.
I
He's a 1%er.
remember that because he's in Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. The first game he's on LA in that game.
On LA.
LA.
What
was Druce? He was a 1%?
He was a 1%er.
Fuck you. Oh, that's so annoying.
All right. Now we have the Montreal Canadiens and the Los Angeles Kings, and we still got to get multiple cup winners on each one of those franchises.
Habs and the Kings.
Yeah. Habs and
Benoit Brunet never played for LA. Tim Waters never played for Montreal. Mark Hardy never played for Montreal. Just trying to go through names that I could think of.
I think the hard part about this is when you start trying
Warren
to find.
Michael never played Montreal, right? No, he never. He was LA, and then he was, I think, Quebec, and then Colorado. No, it was Toronto and then Colorado. Okay.
Yeah, the state saying the Cardinals, but they'll be way high, I think.
Yeah, Russ played for both.
Yeah, Russ played for both.
But that's going to be too high if you ask me.
Yeah, but who did Russ win the Stanley Cups with?
I don't think Russ won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
we're focusing on the other one.
Russ Courtnall didn't win.
I don't think Jeff Courtnall won a Stanley Cup either.
No, I don't think so.
No, neither Courtnall did. I was focusing on the other one, guys, the 2 Stanley Cups.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at Montreal and LA right now. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Pat Conacher never played for Montreal, right? No.
I don't believe he did. No.
No. Yeah, I know he was a Ranger and a King. Doug Huda never played Montreal.
This is a tough one because I think those two, the 2 franchise ones, the guys that won with 2 different franchises. I think that's tough.
I think. Wait, yeah. Yeah, all right. So I know.
Wait.
Marty
play in LA.
Marty Biron's brother, Matthew Biron, the defenseman the Islanders got in that trade. He played for LA. I think he might have played for Montreal too.
I believe actually you're right.
I think he played for both.
I think Matthew.
I think you're 100% right.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he did not.
He didn't.
Oh, you know what it is? His hockey DB picture has him in a Canadiens jersey though, but he never played. He must not have never played for him.
Sort of like that Eric Fischio thing I just brought out. Yeah, he was traded to San Jose for Patrick Traverse.
Yeah, but he never played. Yeah. And actually, you know what? Now I'm looking at his profile. He never played for LA either. He was just a Kings prospect, but he never played for LA. Look at that. Thought we had both, end up being neither.
Yeah, I think I might have 2 candidates for the 2 Stanley Cups, but one of them they both played for Montreal at 2 different points.
Oh, I got a good one, and he was a playoff hero from Montreal. Funny enough, who ended up playing with LA later. Paul DiPietro.
Yes, he was good. He was good against the Islanders.
Clutch for them in that '93 run. He had like a few big goals for them during that run.
Paul DiPietro for Kings in Montreal.
Yeah, for Kings in Montreal.
All right. So for 2 cup wins, I was trying to think of guys that played for Montreal, but then again, I got Brian Skrudlin. I think Matthew Schneider. I think he's got 2. I think. I'm not sure. Schneider's got a cup of 93. He's only got 1 cup.
No, yeah.
But Skrudlin's got 2. He's got 1 with Dallas and 1 with Montreal. And I believe the same thing goes for Mike Keane.
I feel like Keane might be an obvious one here. Skrudland less so, because Keane was a guy that for a little bit in the 90s, like the cup, like he like followed him around almost. He won in 93. Then he's a part of the Waugh trade, and I think that's another thing that's gonna like mess.
Yeah, that would actually be a problem.
Yeah, because he was a part of the Waugh trade, and then he won with Dallas again. And then when he won the third one in Dallas, everyone was like, "This guy just goes and he wins everywhere." You know.
Yeah. So he's got the 3 with Dallas, but Skrudlin, I think everybody's going to forget.
I don't think Daniel had a second cup state of survival. I think he won in 93. I don't think he had a second cup though.
Did Rolly Melanson win any more cups other than with the Islanders? Because I know he played for Montreal at the end of his career, and he won 3 cups with the Islanders when he took over for Chico Resch as the backup. Did he win?
No, he didn't win after that.
He won 3 cups.
He played in Minnesota and then LA after that, and then
all with the Islanders.
He missed that so his last year was the year before the last Montreal Cup.
Okay.
No, I knew that right off the bat, but I just confirmed it. Yeah.
What about did Glenn Healy? Glenn Healy won a cup with the Rangers, right? Did he play for Montreal too at the end of his career?
Yeah, but I don't think Glenn Healy won a second cup.
Yeah, that's a problem, Anthony. He's a one-time cup winner.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with Alexei Kovalev. Alexei Kovalev only has 1.
Yeah.
Zubov, however, has the 2.
Oh, he never played
Muller, I don't think won a second cup either.
He also never played for Montreal. It was Toronto he played for.
Kurt Muller missed that second cup in Dallas by like a year, I think. I think he came there in 99-2000 and missed it. Yeah, Muller. All right. Yeah, Muller. Yeah, Muller played his last 4 years in Dallas, and it was 99-2000 through 2002-2003. I was right, because I knew he was in Florida after Toronto, and then he missed that Dallas Cup by 1 year. Crazy how hard he fell off after 94, Kirk Muller.
I'm just trying to think.
At 27 years old too. Like, just Hosa's too obvious. He actually Hosa never won cups with multiple franchises. He only won with Chicago. Because he was the guy that went to the finals 3 years in a row and finally won it with the third team. And then he won 3 in 6 years with Chicago. He never won with anyone else.
Yeah.
Dominic Moore never won any cups, right?
No, never won a cup.
No. Journeyman but never won a cup. That's a guy that deserved one too.
Yeah.
Really deserved one. Great dude. Great guy. Feel bad for him what happened with his life.
I mean,
just awful.
I'm trying to help to try to get this because, man, this is
it's got to be multiple with multiple different franchises.
That's why I still think Skrudlin would be up there for right here, but
a Skrudlin is something I would keep in my pocket, honestly.
Skrudlin would be okay, but where else are you going to use him right here?
Didn't Matt Cullen never played for Montreal, right? Because he won a cup with Carolina.
Matt Cullen would be an obvious answer for Pittsburgh, though. Because he has the Carolina and then the multiple Pittsburgh.
Montreal. All right.
Trevor Daley won with Pittsburgh and also with Chicago, right?
I don't think he won with Chicago. I'm not.
Two-time Cup winner and both with the Penguins. Never mind. It was Dallas.
I was about to say
he went to Pittsburgh after that.
Yeah, he was with Chicago for a cup of coffee, basically, and then he goes to Pittsburgh at the deadline that year, or in the middle of the year, I should say, and then he wins with Pittsburgh.
What about? I'm trying to think. All right, Brent Sopel won a cup with Chicago, and he played for Montreal. He didn't win any of the cups, right?
What?
Brent Sopel. He won a cup with Chicago and he played for Montreal, but he didn't win any other cups anywhere else, right?
I don't think so. I think he played for
well, I know he played for Montreal. I'm just spitballing.
Daniel did not win a second cup.
And I think he played for Vancouver in route to a cup finals, but that's about it.
Sopel, then we check Sopel? No, right?
No, Sopel never won with anyone else. Sopel went from Vancouver to the Islanders to Chicago, and then he won with Chicago in 2010.
Yeah.
He went to that's right. So he went from Vancouver to the Islanders to LA.
But it only listed for one Stanley Cup on Hockey Reference.
Went back to Vancouver and then went to Chicago. And then his last 2 years were with Atlanta and Montreal, but he only won one. Nick Leddy, I don't think.
Nick Leddy only won with Chicago.
It's only Chicago, yeah.
And he never played for Montreal anyway.
Right. And I checked on Michael Roseball.
That's got to be a joke. That's got to be a joke. That's got to be sarcastic. I mean,
I'm still thinking Brian Skrudland for Dallas. And they're guys that just got to play there at some point. So that's why, who's in the middle? The Capitals. How did Recchi never play for the Capitals?
It's crazy how Adam Oates never won a cup.
Just because you're a great player doesn't mean you win a cup.
I know. It's crazy. He's one of the best playmakers of all time, and a guy like that can make the guys around him that great. It's just.
And it's sort of like even thinking about the Washington Capitals and going, how did Sergei Fedorov only win his cups with Detroit? But it's why you always talk about the NHL, that it's so hard to win in this league.
Ooh, I just thought of one. I don't know how. Maybe this is obvious, but I don't know how many people are going to remember him for his time as a Capital. But fucking Esa Tikkanen.
Esa Tikkanen's a good one. I think Esa Tikkanen works.
Want to try that for Washington? See what
comes on? Let's go with it. Esa Tikkanen, because I want to get to the first off, I'd like to get to the end.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, the period too. Esa Tikkanen 7%. Oh, come on.
Shit.
All right. Well, we might as well go with some of these. No.
Skrudland.
We'll go Skrudland.
Skrudland, see what happens.
We're going to have the highest score we ever got. 1% for Brian
1%,
Skrudland.
that's not bad.
And could we go with somebody else besides Mark Recchi? And
Mark Recchi's going to be way, way too. You think that 7% is bad on Tikkanen?
Yeah. Matt Cullen is the guy that I'm still thinking of.
All
right. Well, let's go with Sergei Zubov.
Well, hold on.
Go ahead. We had 7% on Esa Tikkanen.
When I was looking before, I brought up Matt Cullen. Reminded me of Penguins. What about Scott Young? He played for the Penguins.
Yeah, Scott Young. Go Scott Young. Go Scott Young.
He won a cup with Colorado.
Scott Young. Okay, so you need to score 10. So let's go to the troublemaker areas. We had the Penguins Oilers. We had the 1%, which was
Dick Tarnstrom.
Yeah, Dick Tarnstrom. He was even at 1. Ty Conklin, Mark Letestu, Peter Sikora. I forgot completely.
Wow, I forgot he was an Oiler. Yeah,
Mike Comrie's lower than Dick Tarnstrom.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe that.
Andrew Ference. Yuri Slager.
Was a good one. I totally forgot about him.
Peter Klima.
Greg Hogan. Wow, I forgot about him too.
Norm McIver.
Riley Shahan. 0.1.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Pat Hughes. Okay, let's look at these. These are the ones that were the tricky ones. Phil Kessel was the number one answer with 21%. Recchi, number 2. Trotz, number 3. So there you go. So let's go to those 1%ers.
Yuri Herdina. That's
Stephon Riche.
Yeah.
Craig Adams. Holy crap. Forgot he won in Carolina and then he won in 09 at Pittsburgh.
Dave Hannon and Pat Hughes. But Matt Cohen would have been a 2%er. So it wouldn't have been that bad. I don't see Sergei Zubov on here at all.
You passed him. I saw him.
Yeah,
going down right there.
Yeah, he is 1%. All right. So Sergei Zubov, not that bad at 1%. So this one, the Washington Capitals. See, I thought about Troy Bauer, but he didn't win too.
Daryl Sidor.
And Larry Murphy was there. But Sean Chambers and Dustin Penner, those were the 2.
Sean Chambers, huh?
Yeah, no, I forgot all about Sean Chambers being there.
Yeah, Sidor played in Pittsburgh in 07-08.
Here we go. This is some of the Canadians that won 2 cups with 2 different franchise and played for the Canadians, I should say. Craig Ludwig, Mark Napier, Pat Hughes, Carol Vadnais. There's one. I don't know the rest of these guys.
No.
Nope. But the number one answer, obviously, Patrick Waugh.
Yeah.
And Chris Chelios right behind him.
In the chat before.
Rob Ramage.
Yeah. All right. On to the pyramid, boys. So the pyramid, we start with drafted in the first round, 500 plus games played, a 30-goal season, has to be with any team, played for the Tampa Bay Lightning, won a Stanley Cup, and just to make sure, won a Stanley Cup. We'll get to that in a minute if he had to win a Stanley Cup with Tampa, and also the top square, the Nashville Predator.
That's Steven Stamkos. They're leading you to.
Yeah, it's got it.
Yeah, they're leading it as Stamkos. Let's see whether or not we have to go there. We actually had a good one last week, Anthony. It was Doug Lidster, the guy they were pointing us to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we thought there was going to be multiple guys, but they needed a 50 assist season, and Brian McCabe missed it by 1. So Anthony started off. Name any player drafted in the first round.
Petteri Nokalainen.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I was about to say. Or that or Lauri Tukkonen.
I can't believe I actually got to it that fast. Okay, big surprise, 0. Drafted in the first round and played 500 games in the NHL.
First round pick, 500 games.
Brian Boyle would qualify in that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean,
let's keep going.
It's still going to be 0. I mean, I wouldn't overthink it.
Okay.
Yeah, just go Boyle.
Brian Boyle, there we go. Now a 30-goal season, 500 games played, and a first-round draft pick.
Nathan Horton?
He got 30, right?
I think he did with Florida. Yeah, he did with Florida in 07.
And he clears the games?
Yeah, 627 games. Yeah,
Nathan Horton, we're still at a 0. 30 goals, 500 games played, first-round draft pick, former member of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Well, 30 goals pretty much rules out a defenseman for the most part.
Yeah, you're not looking at any defenseman because there's only been a couple.
Yeah.
A few that have
Cale
done
Makar.
that. Yeah,
of course.
So,
Brian Bellows.
I was thinking of Brian Bellows. I was also thinking of Chris Gratton.
I think Chris Gratton would be more obvious because he was an original Lightning.
And he did play, and he did get 30 goals with Tampa.
So
that would actually be a
Bellows would probably be a better. Let's keep that on the back burner right now.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Selivanov. No, he was late rounder. Because I know he got the 30-goal year with Tampa Bay in '96.
And then remember, they got to be drafted in the first round. That's the other hard part.
Chris Kontos, I think, was a first-round pick.
He was by the New York Rangers.
I don't think he had a 30-goal season, though.
He might have that first year with Tampa. He doesn't have 500 games played.
He came
so it doesn't matter.
Short in that first year in Tampa. That I know.
Yeah, 27.
But he didn't. I was wondering if he had a 30-goal year before that, but I know the Rangers traded him away young.
Brian Bradley.
Brian Bradley would, but I don't think he was a first-round pick.
Brian Bradley was a third-round pick.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think he was a second or a third.
Anthony, I almost went with one of your guys, the guy we're trying to still get on the show. Former New York Islander, Benoit Hogue, because he would have had the 30 goals with the Islanders.
I think he was a first-round pick.
He's a second-round pick. Just missed it by a few spots, 35th overall.
Well, back then it was more than a few.
Yeah, it was like 9.
Yeah, like 9 or 10 almost.
Yeah.
Still. Dino Ciccarelli would have
not drafted.
Yeah, undrafted. Yeah. And he would have been too obvious of a player because he had a 30-goal season with Tampa Bay in '97, I believe.
Right. Vinny LeCavalier is too obvious.
Too obvious. Richards is too obvious.
Yeah.
St. Louis is too obvious.
Well, St. Louis wasn't drafted at all, so he wasn't drafted.
Yeah, so yeah, I can't even do that because he wasn't drafted.
Yeah.
Adam Creighton.
Yeah, no. That's not happening.
No, I'm dead serious. It helps me out by thinking of Islander players that played for the team. Adam Creighton played for the Lightning, and I remember just playing.
Yeah, but he wasn't a 30-goal scorer.
He did. He had one big year. I think he's had over 30 goals for.
He had 30 goals for Chicago in 1990. Adam Creighton.
Yes, he did. And he was drafted in the first round, 11th overall. He's got over 500 games played.
Yeah, he fits it. Wow.
He fits it. Nice job, Anthony.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. So
I thought you were joking around there, but that's a good pick.
He had one big year.
The constant Creighton strikes again.
No,
that's constant Crossman. We can go with consistent Creighton.
Yeah, consistent Creighton as the one I gave. The constant Crossman. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so Stanley Cup winner. And I got to fulfill all those things that we just put in there right now.
They had to have played for, Tampa.
Yeah, I don't think the Islander connection is going to help me out with this one because there's not much.
This is going to be tough.
Well, actually, Ruslan Fedotenko, but the only problem is I don't think he was.
No, he never had a 30-goal season.
Well, obviously, you could do Vinny LeCavalier.
I don't think he was a first-round pick.
But it doesn't have to be a Stanley Cup winner with that team, though, right?
Yeah, actually, that's what we got to click on. Just a Stanley Cup winner. Doesn't say anything else.
Yeah, he actually.
If you wanted to use Dave Andreychuk right here, you could.
Yeah, that would be too obvious, though. And I don't think. Wait, Dave Andreychuk might not have been a first. Was he a first?
Oh no, I'm just saying in general, but yes. Dave Andreychuk did go first.
Dave Andreychuk was a first rounder.
He was a first rounder. Dave Andreychuk would fit right there.
Yeah, he would absolutely fit there.
Although I think Brian Bellows still fits too.
Yes, he does. Brian Bellows absolutely fits there.
Because Bellows won a cup.
Yeah, and he's a first rounder, and he played. I think he played over 1,000 games. Bellows.
Oh yeah, well over. I love Bellows here.
Yeah, Bellows played almost 1,200 games. Yeah.
Do we have an alternative?
I don't know.
Alternatives I can think of are bigger names like Andreychuk.
So early on in the 90s, they didn't have anybody that was like really all that good for them.
Cavier, obviously, that's yeah.
Obviously, I'll throw the question out there: did Mike Sillinger ever win a Stanley Cup?
No.
Because I do believe he had a 30-goal season.
Yeah, Sillinger had a 30-goal season, but You know what? I think he was a first round pick as well. Yeah, he was a Detroit first round pick.
I don't know.
He never won a cup because he missed Detroit's cup years by a couple years because they traded him in '95 to Anaheim, and then I know he played in Vancouver for a bit after that.
I don't know how many more. I'm trying to think because LeCavalier, Andrechuk, Stamkos is the top answer.
Yeah, I think Bellows is in there. I looked up John Cullen. He does not fit that list.
John Cullen didn't win a cup though because he got traded at the '91 deadline.
Correct, for Ron Francis.
For Ron Francis and Al Samuelson. It was Zalapsky and Cullen for Francis and Samuelson.
I mean, I don't know who else. Simon Gagne?
Simon Gagne did play for Tampa.
I think he won a cup with LA.
In LA in 2012. And he was drafted in the first round in '98. I know that. He was
drafted in the first round.
He played
821 games.
500 games. Yeah.
And
Gagne fits this.
Yeah. So you want to do the Gagne or Bellows?
I think Gagne because I think Gagne is probably I don't know. Maybe because of recency bias, because he did have a decently productive season. Go with Bellows.
We're going with Bellows. Here we go.
Go with Bellows there.
Bellows, we still have a unique to score 0 and
Stamkos.
Steven Stamkos going right there. We're unique to score 0. Let's see how we did, guys. Steven Stamkos was the only answer on top of the pyramid. Here's our answers over here. Corey Perry, number one answer, 43%. Andrechuk and LeCavalier would have been the next two. Gagne, 1.13. Dennis Savard, 1.2. We should have thought about that. Gary Roberts, I forget he even played for Tampa.
Yeah.
And Bellows was the only one under 1%. JT Miller would have fit in this category of guys that played for Tampa, 500 games played, and a 30-goal season.
And a first-round pick.
But Adam Creighton was the lowest answer.
Wow.
Gary Roberts, Brendan Morrow, and Brian Bellows, and Dennis Savard and Simone Gagne fill that out. And then the rest. So, not bad, guys. Not bad. We're going to go back to camera right now. Yeah, that was a bit of a tricky puck doku that we had there. Let's see if we can take some questions, guys.
One was very tricky.
I don't think Dave ever won a cup.
No, he didn't. He missed Philadelphia's finals run by a year because he got traded there in 97, 98, I believe.
Yeah, the year before that. He was traded for Vinny Prospal.
I don't think he was on that Flyers roster that went to the finals.
No, he never went. No, not. I don't think he was on the one that went to the finals. No, but he was traded for Vinny Prospal. I know that.
Yeah. No, it was the 97-98 squad because his last 50-point season before his last 50-point season in his first run was 96-97, and then Ottawa traded him in the middle of that. That next season to the Flyers.
By the way, hard to believe Corey Stillman won 2 Stanley Cups for 2 different franchises.
Yeah, Tampa Bay in 2004 and then Carolina in 2006.
So essentially back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's one of the last players to do that, I believe.
Back-to-back with 2 different teams?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's done that since.
Well, not Maroon.
I don't think Stillman did he have 30 goals in a season? I think he might have came short of that in both of those years.
Never had a 30-goal season, so he wouldn't have fit.
Yeah. Because I was about to say, because I know in Calgary he came just short. 20 goals. He never had a 30-goal season. He underrated player, man. Corey Stillman, underrated.
Very underrated, yes. By the way, we're going to take a few more questions. We'll go for another 10 more minutes or 9 more minutes. and wrap it
Yeah,
up.
and now I'm surprised Evan and Matt are not in here because they'd be asking if it was a Mark Williams 10 minutes because that would turn into about an hour.
Well, the thing is, then we start talking about things like we never covered Marc-Andre Fleury in his final game, which was a couple weeks ago. I mean, that was just a nice event. It shows how much he's liked. But then again, he's the most difficult goalie to place, I think, in history, because the numbers would tell you 3 Stanley Cups, the wins, Vezina Trophy late in his career. You're like, oh, he's a top 10 goalie all time. But living through that, I don't think Marc-Andre Fleury is a top 10 goalie of all time. I'm not sure if he's a top 20.
The problem for me with Marc-Andre Fleury is, yes, there's he wasn't a part of Vegas for that 4th cup, right? He was Minnesota by then.
He was in Minnesota by that time.
His Vezina came in a shortened year when there was a lot of. It was a weird year. It came after his prime years. I like Marc-Andre Fleury. Don't get me wrong, I really do, and it was so easy to root for him from 2018 and on because he's a funny guy, he's a lovable guy, he's great with the fans. There's just not a whole lot you can say. There's nothing you can say about Marc-Andre Fleury bad as a person. That's a friggin' model citizen right there.
And endears himself to the franchises right away.
Yeah, and he endeared himself in Pittsburgh. He endeared himself right away to Vegas. And you know what? And watching him that last year in Pittsburgh when you knew what was coming with the whole Matt Murray thing, that kind of sucked. And you felt really bad for him. So that's why it was easy to root for him right away in Vegas. And then he comes back with a top 5 performance in Vezina voting. But he never finished top 5 in Vezina voting in his years in Pittsburgh. Never. He finished 7th in 2012. And after that 2009 Stanley Cup run, he was widely regarded as the scapegoat for their playoff failures.
Yep.
Because he just did not have, in 2010, he got bested in Montreal. Halak bested him. And he wasn't good in that playoff run. Look at these numbers in the playoffs. So 2010, 13 games, 891 save percentage, 278 goals against. 2011, 899 save percentage, 252 goals against. 2012, 834 goals save percentage, 463 goals against. And then you have 2013, 883, 351 goals against on a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals and got smacked by the Bruins. And then 2014, he has his best numbers in the playoffs since 2009. 240 goal, actually since 2008 when he had 933 and a 197.
Yeah, but then he loses the Rangers in Game 7.
He loses to the Rangers in Game 7.
Loses them in 5 the next year.
Yeah, and 5 the next year, and he's not the problem in Pittsburgh in that 2015 season. The problem is that the Rangers just absolutely locked down on Crosby and Malkin in those games. I mean, it just it's a shame that and they lost in that first round series. And I remember Hagelin. I was at the Game 5 winner when Hagelin scored that winner. Fun fact: if you watch the Mika Zibanejad 5-goal game, Hagelin scores for the Capitals in the same exact spot on the same exact type of shot and move in that game as he scored the winner against Fleury in 2015. I mean, look at this: 2-1 final in Game 1, 4-3 final for Pittsburgh in Game 2. That was their only win. Then 2-1 in Game 3. The Kevin Hayes overtime winner in Game 4. And then the Hagelin overtime winner in Game 5. Like, he only let up 2, 3, 2, so that's what, 7. Another 2's 9. Another 2. He let up 11 goals in 5 games. Like that's
and Phil, that was not a Marc-Andre Fleury special.
no.
That wasn't the Marc-Andre Fleury nice try, but I dodged your shot again meme that you remember from back in the day.
Yeah.
But kind of like in the Grant Fuhr bubble. Yeah, no. Grant Fuhr got his recognition.
Yeah, Fuhr was regarded as one of the best goalies of the 80s. I don't see that.
But I think what he's saying is he played on such an outstanding team that they never really looked at Fleury, because sometimes Fleury does get the recognition a little bit too much so because of the save that he made on Lidstrom that basically sealed the Stanley Cup. However,
yeah, but Malkin and Crosby both have 30 points apiece in that. I mean, they before McDavid and Draisaitl, they were the last set of teammates to have 30 points in the postseason on the same team. So it just that run was all Crosby and Malkin.
Now, this is where a lot of people are going to have this problem. And if you do, if we're probably going to decide to do a list like best goalies of different eras. But for me, there's no question the best goalie in the post-lockout era is Henrik Lundqvist. And for everyone that wants to say Carey Price, and a lot of people still want to say, well, the Price's peak was better than Lundqvist. No, it wasn't.
Price had one season that was better than Lundqvist's best season, and that was it.
But those numbers are really comparable. The goals against were really close. The save percentage is really close. So this greatest season for a goalie ever. Take off your Canadian glasses for a second. I understand I'm taking off my New York Rangers glasses, but it's just, and then you're going to hear, oh, what about Chris Kreider? Please. I mean,
he let up 4 goals before he left that game.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
He let in 2 before Kreider ran into him.
Not only that, but the Canadiens had a better team in 2017 than the Rangers had in front of
them.
And Lundqvist beat Price with a lesser team in 2017.
And by the way, that was probably one of the last really good goaltending battles in the first round. I'm talking really good. Like those two battled. If you remember, Lundqvist stole game 1 in the Bell Center.
Yes,
and that was Tanner Glass of all people getting the game winner,
backhand goal. Yeah,
Price was excellent in game 4, and ended up leading to them winning.
Yeah.
So I mean, and again, when I say stuff like this, it's because now you're asking me to ask who's number 1. Then I have to give my rationale to it. So if I'm giving you that rationale, I'm a hater, and where I'm a homer because I'm saying it's my guy and not the other guy. But yeah, without saying it, like Price is saying it right here. Yeah, Carey Price, Tim Thomas, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey had his one good season, but
I mean, I when I look at this, I look at Fleury and I go back through like the voting for the Vezina. Like his first like really good year was 07-08. He didn't even get a vote like for the Vezina. It's crazy to think about, but he didn't even get a vote. Like Brodeur won it. He got 113 votes, 15 first place. Nabokov finished second, 106 votes, and 13 first place votes. And then Henrik Lundqvist and Mika Kiprasov were the only other goaltenders that received first place votes.
Yeah.
And Lundqvist finished third in voting, Kiprasov fifth. And then 09, let's see the voting in 09. So the Vezina was so the Vezina was Thomas in 09, and then Lundqvist finished 6th that year. Fleury still didn't get a vote in 09. And then 2010. Miller won it, and Lundqvist finished 6th. Fleury still didn't get a vote that year. And then Marc-Andre Fleury finally got into the voting in 2011, and he finished 8th. Lundqvist finished 4th that year. Thomas won his second and final Vezina that year. And then Rini and Luongo were the other 2 finalists in 2011. 2012.
And that's where I also think fame got a little bit to Tim Thomas's head.
I think Thomas was a good goaltender, but I think he played behind some very, very stacked teams.
You're talking about playing behind a Norris Trophy winner who is in his prime.
A 6-time Selke winner in his prime.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand, who was still coming out. I mean, Milan Lucic was still a good power forward back then. I mean, they had pieces up and down that lineup.
Well,
yeah.
Well, by the way, I did say it before. We were going to talk about that you're wearing your shirt for the Lightning.
Yeah.
Ride the Lightning. Do you just look at Ride the Lightning and go, Fade to Black's the best song on that album, and then that's it? Or
For whom the bell tolls and Creeping Death are amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, then you got the argument for Call of Cthulhu being their best instrumental.
Yeah.
But then you had I mean, I like Escape. Escape was such a great song. I love listening to Trapped Under Ice sometimes.
Trapped Under Ice is very good.
Yeah.
I think Escape might be filler. It sounds sort of like filler, but it's still a pretty good song.
I mean, it's filler for early Metallica. So,
I mean, there's even earlier filler. I mean, Metal Militia sounds like filler.
Yeah, all right. I guess that
No Remorse sounds like filler.
Yeah. I mean, there's no filler that's on Master of Puppets. But I mean,
I don't think there's any filler on Master of Puppets. Leper Messiah doesn't sound like filler.
No.
Disposable Heroes is definitely not 8 minutes of filler.
Hetfield hated Escape, huh? All right.
I've seen this too.
Yeah. However, you look at that album, and because again, their early albums, even if you want to go to the Black Album, but number 5. I'm trying to remember what song started Load, but they knew how to start off every single.
Ain't My Bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was 2x4 was the second song on that
Second
one.
Song, yeah.
And then you had Fuel, which was the right one after that. It wasn't really until Saint Anger that they really didn't start an album off that great.
Well, they started with Frantic. I mean, on Saint Anger, and Frantic was the right track to start with. And I'll never forget hearing that on MTV's Icon for Metallica. And then I was like, wow, because that was the first time that anyone had heard that song. Like it wasn't out on Napster yet, wasn't or LimeWire or whatever. But I heard the intro to it and I was like, wow, this is the new Metallica. And you got maybe 30 seconds to a minute of it before the program went off air. So you didn't get to hear the whole song unless you were there for it.
Yeah.
And then I went and bought Saint Anger because I was like, okay, they sound a little different. And now the live performance, Lars's drums, his snare, did not sound like Oscar the Grouch's Roof. So, I was like, okay, I'll get it. I went to the place in Tanger, the little music store in Tanger. I ended up putting it on, and then the rest of Frantic was just I was like, what the fuck am I listening to? It was just so bad. The lyrics didn't make sense. I eventually just gave up on the album and just I haven't listened to that album since, and I don't even want to like do it again. I did a full listen through of Hardwired to Self-Destruct the other day. I completed the other day. I've been doing it for like a couple of days, and I was like, wow, like, okay, there's a few songs on this album that I actually like, and I didn't give it the full fair listen through the whole way through the first time. But yeah, Hardwired, Moth to Flame, Spit Out the Bone, and there were like a couple of other songs that were like decent on that. So like that was not a bad one, but Saint Anger, just I can't go back and listen to it. It's just that fucking bad.
Yeah. I gotta say, I don't know who said it in there. Load is a bit of an underrated album. Yeah, at the time, a lot of people hated it. But then you could replay some songs on there. King Nothing is always a good one to replay. Until It Sleeps is now an underrated song.
Yeah.
Ain't My Bitch was okay. I mean, Bleeding Me, I thought was really good.
Hero of the Day was a good song, but it got played quite a bit back then. Outlaw Torn is decent. Honestly, my favorite song on that album might be Ronnie.
Which one?
Ronnie on Load.
Okay. That's like what, 11?
Yeah. It's right. I think it's actually, because Outlaw Torn, I think, is track 12. Ronnie is the track right before it. But I honestly think that I'm sorry. The lyrics are just fucking awful. The songwriting is terrible, and if you watch the Some Kind of Monster documentary, and that's just, you can see why it's awful. There's infighting, a new bassist. They don't know what they're doing. They can't get on the same page with everything. There's just, everything is disjointed about that band at that time.
Yeah.
And it's not good. It's not even the snare. The snare only does so much to fix whatever is wrong with that album. But the lyrics don't even make sense. Like Saint Anger, I'm madly in anger with you. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
It sounds like something Bobby Rock helped influence. I don't know if he was still with them at that time.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
Tick, 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 tock. Just.
Same guy that produced Poison produced Metallica albums. It's just like, but all right, guys, we're gonna sign off there for the New York Rangers this week, as well as the New York Islanders. I really do think I'm gonna have to make a short about that. Who's gonna win? Got to happen first. Rangers score at home or the Jets?
Get on that quick, then, buddy.
Yeah, I might have to get that done tomorrow, right after golf. But it is. But I kind of always just want to say this, Phil. If you try to say out of the first 4 albums, on
that line was terrible too.
Yeah,
I get what he's trying to say, but the words are just awful.
Like, I had trouble for a while with the the Memory Remains. First time I heard it, it's grown on me a little bit. But
you know what? Somebody did a WWE package video to The Memory Remains. It was like I think Ruthless Aggression era WWE. Or Attitude might have been the end of the Attitude, right when they started meshing up, like 0203. Yeah, it was 0203, that range, and that it actually fucking came out awesome. So.
I guess I could take a quick second to do a little humble brag. Goal and an assist the other night with the K-Stars, great time.
Someone got player of the game.
Somebody got player. Actually, you know what? I was gonna wear the chain today, and then I didn't. But all right, hold on. I'll go grab it right before we leave.
Yeah, you go have your moment. We have to entertain him. We
there we go, guys.
We got on him for the layups and all the other mess ups and everything. So let him have his moment.
Yeah. I was gonna wear it today, but to be honest with you, I was so depressed about the New York Rangers. Oh, captain, my captain. Yeah. House of Jack Built was okay. But again, Until It Sleeps, I think, is now such an underrated song on there.
Until It Sleeps is a great song. I think that's honestly from everything that's like after Black Album, like that's probably one of their best post Black Album songs. Least favorite hit for Metallica? That's a good question, actually.
Least favorite hit song.
Oh, least favorite Metallica hit. Would Saint Anger count then?
Is that a hit?
I mean, it was a big single for them in the. I mean,
you know what? Unforgiven 2.
Unforgiven 2, yeah, that's another. Just not a terrible song, but not nowhere near great. Okay, so we have to pretend that Saint Anger doesn't exist.
Because they really milked.
Yeah, you better fix that, buddy. You better fix that. Yeah, there you go. She can kill
I don't think
you.
it's not centered. I think that's the real reason why. But Scarecrows and Ghosts, Falling Leaves, Hayrides. All the nice things.
Right, so remove Saint Anger, and now their best, their worst hit song.
I mean, Turn the Page. That's more of a remake for Bob Seger. So not really going with that one. Although I do have to say, Santa True is a good song. You kind of like that one.
I mean, I wonder if that has something to do with Kid Rock doing that.
Well, yeah, he did American Badass out of it, but that doesn't. It shouldn't ruin that.
Yeah, I wonder if that influences you, Joe. Because I get why. Like, I get why that would be.
Yeah. All right. Well, actually, by the way, it's an underrated remake of them. And thanks, DP. I was just about to think about this. Whiskey in a Jar. Very underrated.
Yeah, I like it. Not a bad.
I Disappear.
Yeah, I Disappear. Yeah, that could be right up there too.
Yeah. But I don't think that falls under their worst single, or hit song.
That their worst hit single? Yeah, that's up there.
It'd be up there only because the quality of the rest of it's good. I mean, again,
a very lackluster guitar solo. Yeah, you know what? I forget about it too. I really do.
Oh, I play it every now and again. I kind of like hearing it. You know what? I'm coming around to your side. Out of their worst, yeah, I'll say that's up there. Because I think a lot of people don't like the Donna, hey, here I go now. Yeah, it's like not exactly the most lyrically diverse song, but still.
I never heard Snoop Dogg, but I don't even want to check that out.
We'll have to check that, Joe, because obviously you know what that is.
I'm not going to touch that. Sorry, I don't want to hear it.
Well, guys, so check out more content from us coming this week. Who knows? There might be some more. Everything. There's definitely going to be some more shorts and some other stuff. I know I got some humor stuff coming out. So yeah, I Disappear is a very guilty pleasure song. Unforgiven 2 is just it's to me, Unforgiven 2 is just kind of soulless. So, but once again, gonna take my final lap of player of the game. And guys, take it easy. We will see you next week.